Welcome to BTN Reviews, where we talk about the news. Got the scoop you need to hear. Stay a while, join the cheer. Super Chat Me, let's go live. Feel the buzz and take a dive. Super Chat Me, don't be late. Join the fun, it's here today. Pour the verb and let it flow. Talking drinks you need to know. Whiskey's aged and barrels old. Stories told in glasses full. Super Chat Me, let's go live. Feel the buzz and take a dive. Super Chat Me, don't be late. Join the fun, it's here today. Toys and gadgets, playtime fun. From old school to brand new ones. Action figures, cars that zoom. Fill your heart and light the room. Super Chat Me, let's go live. Feel the buzz and take a dive. Super Chat Me, don't be late. Join the fun, it's here today. Movie flicks on silver screens. Drama, action, fill your dreams. Real to real, the stories told. Lights and camera, new and old. Super Chat Me, let's go live. Feel the buzz and take a dive. Super Chat Me, don't delay. Join the fun, it's here today. Movies, flicks on silver screens. Drama, action, fill your dreams. Real to real, the stories told. Lights and camera, new and old. Super Chat Me, let's go live. Feel the buzz, come take a dive. Super Chat Me, don't delay. Join the fun, it's here today.
Well, Chad, I tried. I got a video that I wanted to play, but I can't find the fucking volume on the short screen, so I'll fix it and bring it back up. But how is everybody doing? I'm still in Wisconsin. Internet is possibly the worst it's ever been. So if it gets too terrible, I'll go completely off screen and not use any of that bandwidth. But I'm having to use my phone because the internet on the Comfort Inn and Suites You there, buddy?
I'm here. I'm gonna tell you right now, that fucking screenshot is gonna be fucking classic. Your face was frozen in Eric July style freeze frame.
I don't know, man. This is messed up.
It was good. So, what do we want to talk about tonight? Let's see. I think the solar flares got Dave.
I think so. Am I here?
You're here.
Yeah. I don't see you on screen, but I turned myself off.
Okay. Well, I'm on screen. I see myself.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care about being on screen. I can't believe that the internet is this bad on Wi-Fi in a hotel. That's, it's not like it's the Super 8, which probably would have better internet, Jim.
No.
You know what I mean?
You would think. I don't know. So
it's terrible. It lasts about 3 minutes, and then it just cuts off every 3 minutes for the hotel.
They might have some. They might have some kind of thing throttling it.
Yeah, it's called the Indian that owns the place, who gives you a towel that's about a foot long and 2 feet wide, and says that's your bath towel, and gives you 2 of them, and they do room service every 3 days.
Wow, that ain't good.
No, it's not like it's a $70 a night hotel, dude. Fuck. So
well. Do you want to start off with some news about remember on the debate when they had David Muir or whatever his name was told Trump that they talked to the city manager and they said they had no reports of anybody killing any cats or anything like that?
yeah, I remember that, Jim.
Yeah, there's a video from back in March of the city meeting where the city manager says, "Yeah, I've heard about that." So today it's September. So they knew about it in March, but somehow forgot about it in September. It's weird. So if you want to share my screen.
You knew about it in March, you said?
Yeah, it says back in March 12th, 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to share my screen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so we have this guy,
laws and culture is 180 degrees different of what they're used to. And one of the things that I heard that bothered me very much, and I've actually had quite a few people contact me here lately, is some pretty horrid things occurring with the domesticated animal in the neighborhood. We've had some stuff in the park that, again, they're being taken advantage of for reasons other than, and if you shake your head, Brian.
No. I asked me if there was proof. I just don't have proof of it. We've heard the same thing.
People that have confided in me have asked me for anonymity. I can't give their names up.
I mean, we haven't seen the proof that you're telling me, and I've heard about it too.
Yeah, laws and culture.
Well, yeah, he says he heard about it, but he wants proof. He wants to actually be there physically and see a Haitian eating a cat before he'll believe it. I guess. No, there's that, and then and look, we have
Hi, Donald Trump.
this is Tim Walz's wife. Look at her.
We are turning the page. 52 days and we are turning the page. 52 days and it is bye-bye, Donald Trump. Bye-bye, Donald.
I mean, why do they always look crazy like that? Well, I don't understand. They're always looking crazy. That's Tim Walz's wife. Oh, and hey, look, and then there's a police report here about a neighbor stole her cat, chopped it up, and have it in their backyard. She's advised the neighbors are Haitian. She doesn't know who they are. So the officer went out. Her cat's missing. She found meat in the backyard, thinks it's from her cat. No bones or fur around the meat, and she suspects the Haitian neighbors. And it's unknown if the meat is actually the cat meat. And they collected the meat and have it in the fridge in the hopes to get it cremated.
Why are they cremating cats?
Well, the meat that was found when her cat's missing and her Haitian neighbors did it, so she wants that. And then I guess we could jump right into since that Mr. Dinefty was requesting
The solar flare report
the solar flare report.
already?
Well,
We're only 10 minutes in, dude.
this is a batch level 4 solar storm. It says.
Okay.
Oh, Angus is here. To check the okay, Angus, I'll check. So, oh wait,
How you doing, Angus?
oh sorry.
Good morning, folks. Today we're going to highlight an unusual earthquake, a cold snap in Australia that's breaking records, but the main coverage is of the level 4 solar storms we had overnight. It was another instance of the sun giving more than expected. But let's start with the last 24 hours on our star. It was mostly quiet, smaller flares only, no significant CMEs. We still have the sunspots to monitor, but for now, they have all quieted down considerably. We'll certainly have eyes on them, but now let's go to what happened overnight. The CME we had been expecting arrived, and it was about 6 hours later, slightly slower and weaker than what NOAA was forecasting, and yet it exceeded all storm disruption expectations. Looking at the solar wind, we can see where that impact occurred yesterday evening. Moderate speed, moderate density, definitely below what was forecast for the shock wave, but the maximum storm condition forecast of KP7, a level 3 event, was exceeded anyway, despite the shockwave being weaker than expected. Aurora were expected, but not all the way down to Texas. And folks, simply put, as we've had to say a few dozen times this sunspot cycle, the sun is able to do more and more to Earth with less and less because the magnetic field of our planet is weakening in this ongoing magnetic pole shift, leaving our planet more and more vulnerable as time goes on. Quick look at seismicity, where the most interesting quake of the last day wasn't even close to the biggest on Earth during that time. 5.1 in Texas is pretty unusual to say the least. Lastly, on the science notes, a cold snap in South Australia is breaking a lot of records. Several areas haven't seen spring days this cold in 20 to 40 years. Several others have never seen a spring day that cold. Darn global warming. Folks, the Founders Weekend events begin at Observer Ranch on Friday. It's basically a mini conference with presentations, gatherings, Q&A. Grab your day passes at the link below or go to observerranch.com to book your stay at the campground. Also have a link to the birthday event at the ranch on October 19th. I'm turning 40. We'd love to see you out there. observerranch.com. We greatly appreciate your support. We'll do this all again tomorrow. Right here, right now at 6 a.m. in the new Valley of the Sun. Eyes open. No fear. Be safe, everyone.
The Springfield, Ohio Police Department has debunked this very bizarre and very hateful It's happening.
We rate this on the CBS confirmed teams as false. You check with the local authorities
Disrespect.
in the county, also Springfield, Ohio. There's no credible claims,
And that is the
evidence, no
opposite of what
suggestion that Haitian immigrants have
it is
or in any way, shape, or form, let alone cats, especially.
I do want to thank our lovable chat, Jim.
Yep.
No eating dog and cats.
Eat the cat, 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 eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, eat the cat.
Become a member at Freedom.
Yeah, become a member at Freedom Tunes.
No, that's all right. I'll just watch it on your channel.
Yeah. What were those videos you wanted me to pull up? Katie Did's channel?
Yeah, that's fine. What did Angus send you?
That was what Angus sent me.
Oh, okay.
That was the video.
Yeah, so I guess that freeze frame, Dynasty already put it on the goddamn internet. My pause face.
Yeah, well.
The internet lives forever, doesn't it?
I don't. What?
He did ask for people to support me getting better internet, though. So,
Yeah. Which is it? Which one do we want to watch here? This John Malin part 1, or is this from
probably
7
part
days?
1 first.
This is from 7 days ago. Does that make sense? Or is this the wrong
There's 2
channel?
parts, right? They were posted yesterday and today.
I only see part 1. Is this the wrong channel?
For Malin.
Hold on. I'm at Katie.
It's not Katie Did Clips.
It's not just Katie Did's channel.
Yeah, she's putting more stuff there. I also DM'd you what I was going to play. It's kind of what we were talking about last night with the reason for war.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
It's actually pretty interesting. My son sent it to me this morning after he watched our stream.
One of the reasons why Europeans were dressing in wool was because up until 1492, cotton was owned by Muslim states. The big cotton producers were Egypt and India. Well, India was ruled by Mughals, Muslims, and Egypt was ruled by Muslims, the Mamluk. And the Europeans, the Christians, didn't want to trade with Muslims. The Muslims were happy to trade, whatever. The Muslims were like, yeah, let's trade, why not? Trade's good for the world. But the Christians were like against it because they hated Muslims so much. So they were like, no, we're not gonna trade with them. Well, that meant you're gonna wear wool. Because India and Egypt, that was it. Well, until Cortez conquers Mexico. Because it turns out the Aztecs had cotton. One of the
1492, right, Jim?
Well, yeah, Columbus. But I mean, the reason they were wearing wool is because they had sheep like crazy in England and
They would have wore cotton.
If they had it, they would have wore
cotton.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Why wouldn't they trade cotton for wool?
Well, why would somebody that lives in the desert? No. There was nothing to trade.
In England or in Europe, there was nothing to trade.
What did they want? You know what I mean? They would have to buy it. It wasn't really like trade because you can't get a trade. No, the Egyptians were Egyptian cotton basically.
Well, why didn't?
And that's bullshit too because the Romans wore cotton clothes, Egyptian cotton. So I don't buy that.
The Romans
I just think it was Romans. Their togas and stuff were made out of cotton.
How do you know?
I know.
Were you there?
Yep. Me and Patton were there. I was with General Patton. We were in a previous life when we salted the fields at Carthage.
Okay. So Jim's real old. I love how everybody thinks you're older than me, Jim.
Yeah, well, shit happens. All right, I have part 1 pulled up.
Okay. So I guess to me, based on what I've heard that Malin said, this is putting a lot of pressure on Yellow Trash, Jim.
What?
Based on what he thinks it should make, the book. So I don't watch Malin that much. Do you?
I do.
Do you?
Sometimes some of the streams are really good. Some of them are just him like watching TV, and I'm like, why would I want to watch him watching TV?
Well, he even says that in the stream description, though, doesn't he? Like,
Yeah, like go away,
real
watching
boring
TV.
stream.
Real
Yeah.
boring, go away. But oh, I did catch a stream that Matt Barr did yesterday or the day before, where you were the topic of the stream.
Again?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know why this guy wants me on his show so bad, Jim.
I don't know. I think he likes you.
Well, he wants to convince me of something that I don't care to be convinced on. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
just
well.
not something I care to.
You know, he wants your approval. He thinks of you like his, you know.
It's weird.
Like
it's like weird.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand why. I mean, he commented in one of my videos, dude, I really want you to get on the show. You don't understand everything that's going on. We need to talk. Like, I think you're right. I don't understand everything that's going on. And you're not, you know, and Jim, I saw what he did to you on his stream. Wasn't very nice. And then he banned you from ever coming back on.
Well,
so why would I? Why would I do that? He'd think, shut up, stimulated cynic. I just don't get the yellow flash always better. Well, yeah, it's not. I mean, you see what Dan Blackroyd said to you, Jim?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, some people might find it cathartic.
To watch you eat?
Oh, to watch John watch TV.
He said watching John watch TV would be like watching Jim eat on stream.
I don't know. I watched a stream the other night where John ate 5 Big Macs and Shane ate like 6, and it was like, I was like, what the fuck?
They ate 5 and 6 Big Macs on the stream?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I got sick just watching it.
I felt bad eating 4 pieces of chicken today. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you know, like Big Macs used to be good. They just don't taste, you know what I mean? They don't taste like they used to.
I was thinking about that too with before they had to change all the oil and shit. Like Kentucky Fried Chicken used to be good chicken. Now it's garbage.
It's all garbage.
It's all garbage, man. Where the hell is Kevin Ostero? He loves to watch Jim eat. He missed out. He's gonna have to go back and watch from the beginning, Jim. Jim was prepped before the show started with food. He was ready to go.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't know. Andrew's telling me to eat slower.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what this goes.
$5 comic or photo with Mange. Yeah, guys, get ready for that, you know. Oh boy. It's embarrassing. But that, you know, I mean, in that case, that instance, it's a good idea for a moneymaker. Comicsgate audience is already in on the gag. So I could see that as being fun for them, but can you imagine somebody buying a comic off Mange if Mange is hanging out at Shane's booth and then wants a photo and then Mange is like $5, you know? Ugh. Well, I probably won't see it. I'll be on the other side of our big, beautiful wall.
Oh man,
Shane
Dave,
and
you
I are
want the
building
link?
At Baltimore. I love how the narrative on online earlier with Vickyverse, I guess. You know, I've never really engaged a whole lot with Vickyverse. But you know, she's one of these people that just kind of pop up when campaigns are starting, and I don't know, they just want to be noticed, I guess. So they start, you guys are shitting your pants right now about Yellow Flash. I don't know, his campaign. And I understand that's a narrative that they would want because, you know, they're going to want to feel justified in making the campaign about being either what are anti-Comicsgate, anti-Ethan. So if we sit there and we just talk a whole bunch of shit, then they'll be justified in that as their marketing strategy. Be like, hey, these guys said we can't do it. You know? So yeah, I get it. Except I haven't said shit about Yellow Flash's campaign failing. I actually said that I expected it to make about
You see old man Dave.
$2 million.
Yeah.
I would say probably at least $2 million at least.
How you doing, Dave?
I sent him the link if he wants to come on.
Oh, cool. That way, every time I fucking time out,
I'll have somebody
every
to talk
4
to.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have somebody to talk to instead of eating. You'll eat your weight in fucking chips and salsa.
Mhm.
But I was gonna bring up something, but it doesn't matter. I lost it.
Chris Bacon came up with his estimate for Horseman.
Is it 6 days already?
Well, I don't know. He's got it. It's got 740.
He said 740, huh?
Yeah.
Which is double, a little bit more than double of Mike Barron's book, right?
Well, yeah, it has CGC books, and it also
and
has
more shirts.
And it also has Alpha Core CGC books. So it's got 2 sets of CGC books.
The Daily Nut's hard to figure out, Julio. Just saying. Just saying. Did I tell you I put Halloween merch in the store, Jim?
No, you didn't tell me.
Yeah. It's fucking stupid. It's funny, though. I made a whole bunch of different Sturgis designs for Halloween. On the advice of one of our followers on the tube.
Who's Portman? Old man David.
I think get in here, old man Dave.
Get in here, old man David. I want to talk to you about pagers.
Oh no. No. So this is just the beginning of John talking about this con. Is that what he's
Yeah, I guess. I don't
just
I
talking
don't
about
know.
football?
I can speed it up to like
there's no fear in
Who?
that. It's a numbers thing.
like 1.5.
Like he should make that because he has half a million.
Oh man, Dave, that's why I want to talk to you while you're in the shower. I mean,
I've
come on.
seen you do fucking videos in the shower, dude. What are you talking about?
I mean,
I've
that's what
seen your
all
shorts.
the cool kids are doing. I heard Ricada talks to people in the shower.
We know he does it in hot tubs.
Yeah.
He sure doesn't do it at his desk anymore on weeknights. Fuck.
Why are the mobile phone? No, the pagers were blowing
subscribers. So I would be shocked if he didn't make
up.
2 million.
Solar flares, man.
But I want
the
John
pagers
Dillard to
blow
make
up.
some money, so I don't care
No, it's the expanding.
how well or
Earth.
not that book does. Maybe with Literature Devil
Gravitational
on there,
pull.
maybe we actually get a story. I don't know. I don't know to what extent Literature Devil's involved versus Yellow Flash. I don't know how well their working relationship is. Yellow Flash might be a pain in the butt. Might not want to step on his toes. No, the only thing that's going to matter at the end is when, and we won't know this until the books are delivered, is the quality. The quality of the story, the quality of the art. Obviously, I will be looking for the quality of the lettering. If it's a quality product, then groovy. Let's get more of it. I mean, let's get more of it if it's not. Sturgeon's Law.
Why would he be looking at the quality of the lettering? That was like
is
a weird.
Literature Devil doing the lettering or something?
I don't know. I thought he was helping with the story.
I don't know either. I'm just wondering, like, why he cares. Hater headquarters for $10. Thank you, Hater. I I don't think people realize how much rent can be extracted on the promise of animation alone. The impact of the WB and DCAU on retards who can't read image or read comics is huge. It's Ripa's real audience. Oh, that's probably a good point. But do you think Hater Headquarters, and thanks again for the 10, do you think that's going to make him money though? I mean, do you think that people are going to just sign up for memberships to watch animation? I mean, it'd be interesting to see because he's been offering memberships for a long time, Jim, and he still hasn't even got to 5,000 members on his page. When you figure with all those books sold and everything that they'd be signing up like crazy. Especially
Ricada had more than 5,000 paid members on his locals page. I never got my 5,000 member gift.
Neither did I. But the same thing on his. I mean, if you want to have the animation, quit your YouTube membership and then go get on his webpage. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. But I think he's right. I just don't know if there's any money in it with all the other things out there to get people's attention on the internet. Thanks again, Hater Headquarters. Oh, just on the promise,
dictates
yeah.
that 90% of what is it, pop culture that people consume is trash. I didn't make up the rule. So in order for that 10% to exist, according to the rule, there must be somebody out there making 90% trash. So is that Yellow Flash? I don't know. We'll find out. We shall see. Yeah, there's nothing I'm afraid of. I think Yellow Flash, through sheer volume, is going to have a hit. I don't think there's any way around that in terms of sales numbers. It's going to happen. But I mean, I guess the narrative that we're afraid of these books is juicier. I mean, I'm not. I don't know what other people are saying, but I'm not afraid at all. I think it's exciting that other people are getting into the field here. And if they choose not to be my friend, that's their own deal. So Yellow Flash struck first on me, throwing me out of his group. And then there was a little cover-up lie saying, oh, well, I'm only throwing people out that aren't showing up on my show all the time. Because I was showing up. It just wasn't all the time. I'd show up every, I don't know, month. Once a month, maybe I'd pop up on there. Which isn't bad. It's not bad for showing up on something, you know. Look, guys, you don't get paid to be on these shows. You know what I mean? So when you show up and you give up your time freely to sit and chit-chat about nothing, a month doesn't sound too bad. Once a month. Once every 2 months, whatever. So, but that was the excuse that I was told, is that, oh, it's just a cleaning of a house of people that don't show up. And I said, oh, is Cecil cleaned from that room as well? Because Cecil hasn't been on there in a good long time. Then they checked, and yeah, no, Cecil was still in that room. So that excuse, that reasoning did not hold water very long. And then that was around the time that the, or even before that, I think, was when Yellow Flash had went scorched earth with Ethan on the page rate thing. All of which has nothing to do with me, but I get thrown out of the room. So I'm just like, okay, I guess we're not friends. Guess we're not friends, Yellow Flash. You're scared of their success. How so? Please elaborate the irrational fear of them being successful when they have 500,000 subs. Should I be sitting there and saying this is going to fail? Like, unlikely. Unlikely. No one's going to buy Yellow Flash's book. Oh, take that for a soundbite. Oh, you guys are going to show me. Yeah, so let's say Yellow Flash's book does 2 million. Where does he go from there? $3 million. Where does it go from there? Does he keep giving people the John Dillard deal, which is partnerships, splitting half? I believe, this is my understanding, splitting half of the profits. Because once you start looking at big numbers, guys, once you start looking at handing off a freelancer like Dillard or anybody a check for, let's say.
But wait, doesn't Dillard own 40% of the character? So he can't just have somebody else draw it. Dillard owns it from now on. Dillard gets that 40%, I would think.
Exactly.
Let's see, subcontract
Yeah.
out.
I mean,
He still gets 40% of the profit.
the trademark is in Dillard's name. It's going to be kind of hard to say, oh, no, you don't get money on the second book if you have somebody else draw it. So I think Dillard's, the only person who can draw it is Dillard. Or if someone else draws it, Dillard's still going to have to get paid. Right?
Yeah.
Say, again, if we're going to say this thing's doing $2 million, let's say John Dillard just gets handed a check for, and I'm just going to pull a number out of my ass, right out of my ass. Let's say he gets handed a check for no, that might be too generous. $300,000 when this is all said and done. Let's say John Dillard gets handed a check for $300,000. When you see $300,000, when you're Yellow Flash or anybody, and you see $300,000 moving from your bank account to a freelancer's bank account, and you start thinking about what all you could have done with your empire with $300,000 more put towards it.
$300,000.
Because you can hire a freelancer. Look, guys, you can just hire a freelancer. Like, that's all you got to do.
What's that, Julio?
No, he's throwing 300,000. I was going to say Chris Bacon should put that in a spreadsheet as some of the daily nut.
Well, if he's saying like that, if it's sold $2 million worth, that the 40% profit should be around 300,000. If it, after all the expenses and everything. So,
Well, the other thing too is Dillard's owner. So,
right. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, Dillard's the owner. So how, partial owner owns 40% of it. So it doesn't matter if the second book, Dillard still owns 40% of it.
Right. Yeah. Unless
they change the character, change the name, and they would have to change it from the Mighty Golden Patriot to the Mighty something else, or I don't know.
Whatever.
Mighty Morphin Power. They have to change it to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or something.
Do you think that John's being sincere when he says more power to him? Welcome.
I don't think he cares.
You don't?
No. John's making decent money what he's doing.
No, I don't care. I'm saying, do you think he thinks it's insulting that Yellow Flash at his age is starting as enacting, like...
No, he says more power to him. He thinks more people the better.
I know what he said. Do you think he means it?
Of course, John doesn't lie.
Okay.
I'd like to think he's sincere. I don't know why one man gives a shit about what another man makes. It's a little weird. Worry about your own money, right?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
good. I hope like Nick says, I hope everybody makes $1 million. Great.
Well, John said he's going to make $2 million.
Good. Good for him.
Go for it.
2.5.
You can buy a beanie collection.
$3 million. I think.
Don't you?
I think Yellow Flash book is going to sell $5 million. It's going to be the biggest earner for Eric ever.
I'm just wondering if he's saying this to put this ridiculous pressure on this whole group of people, just to say it to see, well, there's no way he's really going to make that.
I generally try to think the best in people, and it would be disappointing if anybody would put that much thought into using certain words to be, subverting, or it just seems silly to me.
I would think Yellow Flash's book, because he's got this awesome following of people that follow him everywhere, he's got to, all he's got to do is get 1%. of his audience to buy his book?
He has less followers than Eric on YouTube, dude.
Oh, I thought he had more.
Nope. He's got about
But-
40,000 less.
Yeah, but his followers actually watch his content though. Like
Really,
Eric,
because I was watching Ethan stream Saturday night and Yellow Flash's Saturday night during Katie's show, and Ethan had more viewers than Eric or than Yellow Flash.
I'm all done. I was eating chips and salsa, Kevin. You missed out. I had it at the beginning of the stream. I did a whole breakdown of what was in the salsa and how I made it. How many miles I had to walk to pick the peppers and get the chilies, and I had to go overseas to get the tomatoes from San Marzano.
Yeah, I like Chris Bacon's in the chat. So
Chris Bacon's in the chat. Chris Bacon's in the chat.
He came out with his prediction. You said 740K for this book.
Yeah, I think you're right, Katie. I think the trailer Dillard did is fantastic, and actually, Yellow Flash would be wise to let Dillard take the lead with advertising his comic book. I'm not saying Yellow Flash won't.
You mean making the advertisements, not talking about? Because
making the advertisements, whatever or whoever did that. Whoever did it, maybe it wasn't Dillard, but whoever did that on Dillard's channel, that was good. Like I was like, oh, this is good.
Right.
I
But don't let Dillard talk about it, because he's so pasty, boring, dude. He's boring as hell. Whenever he's on that show with those guys, he just sits there and looks down all day. He doesn't say shit.
Well, he lets his pencils do his talking.
You are throwing my entire world into chaos by eating at the start of the chat, Jim.
Yeah. No, I know, Katie. Yeah, the one on Dillard's channel we watched, not the one that Eric put out. The one that Eric put out was like, I don't know.
Eric put out one for Yellow Flash?
Yeah, he put out one for Ripicent or whatever, and it was basically just like the cover, just kind of like
multiple angles from the cover.
Multiple angles of the cover and stuff. I was like, well, that's kind of like I could have made that. I suck. But
yeah. Did Eric say when he's going to release Yellow Flash's book? Has he stated like a release date yet?
I thought they said it's coming out this year, so it's got to be soon.
Well, I know, but I mean, there's still 50 days left on this campaign, which makes it end in November 1st or something like that, right? So then what are you going to do? Throw this book out at Christmas time? And then when's Bloodruth coming out? I thought that was supposed to be out this year because he kept talking about. I
would think he's not crowd. Any type of campaign or crowdfunding around Christmas time, I would think is a bad idea.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
because people have other things to spend their money on.
Right. So because he promised like 4 or 6 books in Rippaverse this year, not Ripicent, Rippaverse. So that means you got Bloodruth left and whatever else.
If he's going to go to a model where he's putting out a comic a month or whatever, wouldn't it make sense to sell subscriptions? Isn't that what DC and Marvel used to do?
Well, I mean, for something like subscriptions, you would need like the actual. You would have to have a book coming out every month, because that way you would have a membership, and that with that membership you'd get a book. Like that would be his $50 tier. Would be like you get a book every month. It's $50, but you get a $25 book. Which actually it only costs it only costs him $250 to print the book anyway. So he's what's it cost him? That would be a good model, but you'd have to have a book coming out every month. Otherwise, why are you paying the $50 if you're not getting a book that month, or you're only getting 4?
Wasn't he saying like a month ago that he was going to start putting like escalating how quickly?
Well, he said they needed to start putting out more books, and which if he can put out if he puts out a book a month. And he does, like I say, he could do if he did 300,000 a month on a book. That's a profitable business. He'd be fine. That's fucking 3.6 million a year.
That's not good, Jim.
What do you mean that's not good?
How the fuck is that not good? That sounds amazing.
You got 15 employees and warehouses to pay for, dude.
Okay,
that's not good.
All right.
Well,
He's
the
not-
more
he's
books
not
he puts
two
out, the
guys
more
in a
work they
warehouse.
have to. If he's paying them, they might as well work. So the more work you make them do.
But it's still, I mean, he made 3.7 on one book. If he does 10 books and it makes 3.6, that's not good for Eric's fucking image, dude.
This is my issue with this, and people, and I'm talking out of my ass here clearly because I don't know a lot about comics, but people keep saying, "Oh, Eric's spending that, making this, and he can't possibly, stay afloat." Based on what? Who's got his receipts?
$5 sales, dude.
I see people
$5
with fucking
sales.
spreadsheets saying, "Oh, he's making, he's pulling in this. It's not enough."
Dude,
It's profit and loss.
$5 sales.
You got to have two sides.
Well,
of shit.
what he did release something a while back, a transparency report where he said what he was spending on payroll every quarter or whatever, and it was quite a bit of money.
No, that's fair. I don't know why he does that, to be honest with you. It's my opinion, but
Why he does what?
why he would be that transparent?
I don't know.
Well,
That's what he
because
said he was going to be.
He
wasn't
was
gonna be
moving
like that.
differently, dude. He's going to move differently.
So we're believing his numbers there, right?
Right. You know what? I don't have any reason not to believe Eric. He's never lied to me before.
I'm just talking shit, Dave. I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry, dude? Don't apologize.
I'm like 45 minutes away from Baltimore. I'll go up there and
On principle, no one should support socialism for a black vampire down in Texas. Yeah, I mean, he did bring up a really good point earlier in his comments, Jim, Hater Headquarters. He said, imagine if on a campaign, every campaign, he said, would you like to add $2 to support animation rather than making people buy a membership? I bet he'd make a lot more money that way. Just $2. But the problem is he can't survive on just a campaign, $2. He needs that $5 every month, right? From the membership that people forget they even have. Like, how many memberships do you forget you have, Julio? Until you go with your credit card, you go, oh shit, I still pay for that? Let me go cancel that shit.
that's true. That is true.
I got a membership to AMC Plus? What?
That's what they rely on, that people signing up
Yes.
to watch something and forgetting.
Or twice. You sign up and your wife signs up, right? You're like, what the fuck? You have your own Netflix account?
Right. The bitch already had an account. You can ask me.
I ain't going bitch, but yeah. Hey, crazy ass.
I meant that in an endearing way.
I know what you meant, dude. I would rather give Mange $5 for a photo than spend it on one of Eric's books. Yeah. You guys can spend $5 on a magnet of a Shane Davis drawing of a little rat guy. I can't.
That's a good segue, Dave. You should pull up your
I'm just
store.
saying. You can't. I put Halloween shit out today, Julio.
I didn't see it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I just did it tonight. I was sitting in my hotel room and I got a message from somebody like, hey, you should do Halloween stuff. He's a good Halloween character to make fun of. So I did. Yeah. Read the chat, Dave. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Great job. Did you guys see the Chuck Dixon interview about Horseman? I made it through about 2/3, and he didn't mention it being an EJ idea. It's not an EJ idea. It's even EJ says it's not his. I let Eric like, haha, thanks. It's not hard to find out how much it is to rent a warehouse. The rent's $15K a month.
Okay.
That's what it is. I mean, Chris Bacon's looked it up. And so is Nick Rekieta looked it up. Nick Rekieta, he's like, yeah, shit's $15K a month just for the building. If you were intelligent and you knew you were trying to do animation, you would build it into your product cost. Yeah, I agree. He's doing it 2 years later when he could have been putting money to the side on these huge campaigns, Julio, to start that up, right? Imagine if he wasn't paying $15K a month in rent and, however much he pays a quarter in salaries and stuff like that and 401K, because he says he pays 401K and all that stuff. Imagine if he wasn't paying all that stuff and using that money to do this animation stuff and had just $5 Guys working in a warehouse or whatever, but not 15. It's a lot.
Five Guys. I could go for a burger. How about you, Julio?
Yeah.
Five Guys.
Stuff.
He's never put out another report on his spending after that first one, did he, Jim? He did the one and done.
I don't know.
I remember that. Five Guys is not great. Five Guys is overpriced.
I agree with that.
Good, but the price drives you out the fucking door, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the food, but not the price of the food.
You know what? You get what you paid for. You want shit? Go to McDonald's.
I'll just go get an Italian beef for half the price and be happier, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because you got to settle for Five Guys now down in Florida, don't make it great.
I got Culver's here too, man. They're pretty good. They're pretty expensive too, though.
Yeah, they're expensive. Again, it's just fucking Wisconsin fast food, right?
Five Guys was cheap until Biden got in office.
No, it never was cheap.
It was reasonable when it first.
I don't know. I think it's like $18 for a fucking
Yeah.
hamburger now.
No, there's one up the street. Yeah, I went there and I walked right back out. I'm like, no, I don't know.
Yeah,
$8
the fries are good, but
fries.
fuck, dude.
Thanks for the peanuts. Great.
You can make it worth it if you take like 2 cases of peanuts out with you when you leave, and then take all the bottles of malt vinegar off the tables. You know, those are like $6 a piece at the store, so you get like 10 bottles. You get your money's worth. You just got to pilfer the place.
And just order of fries.
Yeah.
Take all the other shit with you. Go sell it, and then come back and buy your burger.
That's a good idea, Jim. I like that.
Look at Old Man Dave's got a place.
Do you still have backyard burgers down there, Jim?
I don't think so.
They were pretty good back in the 90s and stuff. I don't know. I know there's one in fucking Marion, Illinois. Ben, you're in fucking Austria, dude. We have so many better options over here than Five Guys. I'll make a burger. I mean, I can go buy a fucking 2 pounds of beef, Julio, and make 3 or 4 good burgers.
Yeah, but
you know,
you got to put work in.
Just remember, if you cut the fat, you cut the flavor.
Oh yeah, 93.7 is not good for burgers. 85.15 is good for burgers, but 93.7 is good for everything else. If you're trying to not, eat 8 million calories in your burger.
And don't press them down with the spatula while they're cooking.
That's a fucking myth. I like smash burgers.
What is? I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
They take a ball of hamburger meat, all right, and you put it on the like a big cast iron Blackstone or on a grill, like a griddle. Then you take a press. It's a round thing, and you go smash it down on the thing as it's cooking. To cook it, and you smash it down, and then that's a smash burger. They're really
they're thinner patties because they're like 4-ounce burgers, and they'll get like a double, and they're fucking delicious, dude. My wife makes them all the time now instead of regular burgers.
I'll have to try one. The description sounds silly, but
no, it's instead of pre-making a patty, you make a ball, like a meatball. You drop it on the grill,
It's
and then you
spicy
take this.
meat.
It's like a round thing with you hold like it's like this. It's got a flat, stainless steel flat. You just push down on the burger on the grill. All right, but not on the grill. You do it on a barbecue grill, it's going to go right through the grate. It's got to be a flat top. So, but yeah, I got all that stuff. I got the weights and what the fuck is going on with my computer? It's doing this on its own. I'm not touching anything. That was crazy. Stop.
So does Yellow Flash continue to do these honorable deals? I view him as honorable deals where he cuts in a freelancer to take on the risk, or does he change it up because now that he's got his own $300,000, if they're splitting the profit, 300 to Dillard, 300 to Flash, the rest to Ripa to print and distribute the book. Does Flash continue to make noble agreements with these freelancers? Or does he say, you know what? I'm the business. My books are going to sell because I'm going to be the one pushing them. and I can hire anybody to do the drawing.
Well, I don't think he
we'll see.
can. I think that's wrong because Dillard
Will he
owns
even
the trademark.
bother on doing a follow-up to Golden Patriot when he can invest the same amount of time into another book with a freelancer and save himself nearly, potentially, $300,000? That's a new car, new house for Flash, more books for Flash. So what's he going to do? But yeah, Dillard is about to make some money. And I hope he and Flash continue to do these books and get Dillard more money. But yeah, the temptation to cut a guy loose who's making an artist who's working hard for you and even being loyal to you, the temptation to cut him loose to save some of that money for yourself.
I don't think this is an option. I mean, if he's 40% owner of the character, because that's what it is of the book, it's the book in perpetuity. He's 40% owner. You know what I mean? It wouldn't matter. I don't know.
It's an IP, I guess,
It's an
right?
IP. He's 40%. He owns 40% of it.
So even if he didn't draw it,
Correct. He would still own 40% of it.
Right.
You know, I mean, the trademark is in Dillard's name. You know,
Right.
There's probably a contract or somewhere where, you know, whatever, where it says who owns what, that he owns this and that, but you know, I have it speeded up
Real.
to 1.5, so you know.
But yeah, no, I actually suggest that you guys hire freelancers as freelancers.
Okay, Katie.
Because the thing is,
coming.
even when you cut people in on these partnerships and stuff, you know, like, okay, let's say you give somebody some partial ownership and the book, it does okay, but now you're ready to do a follow-up to that book. And you're the freelancer you hired for the first one, you already gave him ownership or partial ownership of it. He may not have made the money that he wanted to make overall with it, but now you may be in a position where you have to hire, he doesn't want to work on the next book. So why should he? He already owns it. You know, you could almost do almost like a Cory Walker type situation where you draw 6 books, you leave it, you know, like I already own it. Tony Moore did the same thing, right? With Walking Dead. He already owned it. He owned part of it. And then they leave. And then they get replaced by another guy. And look at that. I mean, actually, that's a good example is The Walking Dead. So Robert Kirkman, Tony Moore create The Walking Dead. Tony Moore draws, I don't know, maybe 10 issues of The Walking Dead. Him and Robert Kirkman have a huge falling out. As I understand it, as I heard through a grapevine, as their falling out was so bad that Kirkman had to go to Kentucky to try to, or was it Kentucky? No, I think Kirkman lives in Kentucky. Maybe he left Kentucky. He went to wherever Tony Moore lived. And Tony Moore was out there supposedly foaming at the mouth. He was so mad at Robert Kirkman. And guys, like, this is just rumor mill shit, you know? But he was so mad at Robert Kirkman. He was foaming at the mouth when Robert came out to his property to try to get him to draw this book, I guess. Finish drawing it, keep drawing it, or turn in pages. But why should he? He's already owns half of it.
this is the guy that
And then,
filmed
years later, he sued
thrown out of a convention
Kirkman.
a few months
But
ago.
if you watch the Walking Dead, they credit, what is it? I don't know if they give him creator credit, but Kirkman, Tony Moore, Charlie Adlard, like all 3 of those guys are in the credits. So hire freelancers is my suggestion. You guys can do what you want. I think it's a simpler one. It's nice to be able to put somebody on something where, hey, you're invested with it. But I think your long-term relationship is probably at risk, especially the more successful a project is, because greed does kick in. It's understandable. It's human nature. And when you start writing checks for $300,000 or $200,000, when you start calculating in your head that you could have got a freelancer to draw this for, I don't know, 20 grand, 30 grand. I'm just guessing, whatever, 40 grand. I don't know. Actually, yeah. Yeah, if you're paying on a low end, again, these are independent comics, but if you're paying on a low end for an illustrator, 48 pages, I don't know how many pages the Yellow Flash project is, but let's say he's getting at least 100, maybe up to 200 per page. John Dillard, the equivalent of, yeah, 100 page for 48 pages, $4,800, 200 page, 10 grand. And when you start looking at 10 grand, compared to $200,000-$300,000 in one single swoop, that is going to hurt. That's going to be painful.
Is he drawing while he's streaming?
So get a good
I
work
think
for
he
hire
is
contract.
drawing. He's doing something.
Hire freelancers for what they are supposed to do, which is freelance. And you get a big hit where you get $300,000 more to blow. just blow. I mean, you can put it on Coke, hookers, whatever. But should you decide, to give your freelancer a bonus of some sort, okay, toss him a bone. So that's your discretion. But now you have $300,000, guys, to start.
Yeah, you would do like what Ethan did with David Williams. I think he gave David Williams a $10,000 bonus when it hit 100,000, or I think it was 10,000. So, hey, it's me and you, Julio. We've commandeered the stream. Aha, we are here.
Avast.
Developing other books, other projects. Probably now you've learned your lesson, and now you're using freelancers. Yeah. So I'm just saying, when you see $300,000, you start to think, what could I have done? What more could I have done for my business with $300,000? So that'll be something that's going on behind the scenes. Flash will be at a struggle against himself. So Eric July just went with a freelancer, as far as I'm aware. I don't think he cut him in on any creator credit or anything like that.
Well, not
any ownership.
Well, Horseman, I think, is owned by Chuck Dixon and maybe Joe Bennett. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely Chuck Dixon's character, if I'm not mistaken.
It's their idea for sure, right?
Yeah. Well, it's Chuck's idea, and I think it was probably it almost seems like a villain, like it was originally maybe a Batman villain or I don't know. That's what it kind of seems like to me. I don't know.
We just have to wait till it comes out, Jim.
And that's the way to do it. And if a book overperforms, look, it makes sense for you to give your artist a nice fat bonus for anything that overperforms, because you want that guy to come back. Or you would just give him a better page rate for the next one. Maybe that's equivalent to what you would have given as a bonus. But it's the better business. Too much money, too much strain, too much strain on your friendships, your relationship.
Clip, clip, and snip, snip.
Yeah, it almost seems like Yellow Flash wasn't confident of his comic book doing that great, that he didn't just pay up front to have it done, that he gave away 40%. But, if it does great, that's great for Dillard.
Videos.
I'm trying to understand what. Well, I guess Yellow Flash has a following, and that's what he brings to the table. Okay.
I don't know.
Something like, why didn't if this?
I mean, he's got to know. He's got to know. Yellow Flash has got to know quite a bit about this, Power Ranger stuff. He dresses like that,
right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, think of it's combining all these things. You've got Egyptian stuff, Japanese stuff, World War II, Nazis. I mean, it's kind of like spaghetti and turkey goes together.
Oof.
All right.
Savant says, I don't know how many of Yellow Flash's subscribers are comic fans, and he doesn't have the kind of audience that typically backs campaigns. I think EJ soured the market on culture war trophies. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know because those guys specifically aim for I don't know, pop stuff, pop culture. Johnny Depp, are Johnny Depp fans? Are they comic book fans?
Well, Andrew Campbell, doesn't, but I believe that's what Literature Devil was brought in to do, is to punch up the script or maybe write it. Who knows? I mean, I wonder if Literature Devil owns a piece of it. Maybe it's 40, 40, 20 or something, or I don't know. We don't know what the structure is.
On a side note, I will say that this guy's one of the few streamers that is better when you 1.25 or 1.5 him.
So I think if EJ soured the market on culture war trophies too, what are the culture war trophies? But Eric July has an audience, and it might be, we don't know what the overlap is between Eric July's audience and Yellow Flash's audience. What is that? Who knows? But I think he has the every shot in the world to hit 2 million. If ISOM number 3 did $3.2 million, I think Yellow Flash isn't like a promoter. I don't think he's really worked or flexed that promoting muscle very much in his life. So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to motivate people. I think Eric July can motivate people, but how heavy of a push is Eric July going to do? I believe Eric July is going to give it a good, sturdy push, because it's, in my mind, and probably in his mind, it's going to be like the flagship for Ripascend. He's going to want to show people that he can make people money, and a lot of people are going to go over there. Matt Wilson says, I don't see it, John. Where are you getting these numbers? I'm getting them because ISOM did 3.2 million. Eric July has 500,000 subscribers. Does 3.2.
ISOM did 3.7 million, didn't it? Yeah.
2 million. Yellow Flash has right around 500,000 subscribers. If all things are equal, they're not, then Yellow Flash would get $3.2 million. But Yellow Flash is not a big promoter of comics or anything. He doesn't really sell anything. I don't know.
Well, there's no thing
he's good at what he does, chase algorithms. He doesn't have that salesman thing, and that could be a decline. That could cause a decline of over $1 million in sales. It might not. It might, with their powers combined, they could also form fucking, I don't know, Captain.
It could be like the Wonder Twin powers. They could touch the thing. Wonder Twin powers activate in the form of $7 million in comic sales. Right?
Right. Yellow July Comics.
Yeah.
Planet. And that book could do over 3 million or over $3.2 million. So that's it. Eric July has a buying audience primed to buy. And Yellow Flash's audience is not necessarily primed to buy. It doesn't mean that they won't buy. They could buy in mass. I don't know, because I don't know who they are. I haven't checked up their skirts. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing.
Why would he say that Yellow Flash's audience isn't primed to buy? That's based on what?
Well, he just said he doesn't know, actually. He's just saying if he doesn't know if they're primed to buy. He just knows that that Eric's is. Eric's got these people. Like, some of those people will support Yellow Flash just because of Eric, because they're going to want, they're like, certain people like, whatever that guy's name is, Be Clowned Zero. He'll probably buy it, like crazy. He'll spend at least 2 weeks allowance on it. And I don't know. Katie said she wanted the link. I sent it to her, but I don't see her in the private chat or anything. So I guess
I don't see her either.
Yeah, I don't know. She said she wanted it. I sent it.
Come on, Katie. I don't know what I'm talking about here. You can tag me out.
I sent it to Old Man Dave too, but he's still in the shower. He's listening to my cool sounding, relaxing voice, taking care of some business.
Shut the fuck up.
The dulcet tones of Jim Zatala.
Yeah.
That's where the numbers are. I'd say Yellow Flash is very equivalent to Eric July, but he doesn't have that marketing muscle. He doesn't know how to flex and get people to buy. Maybe everybody's sitting there ready to buy. Maybe Yellow Flash's audience has just been waiting for the right thing, or they're Eric's audience and they've already been buying over there for Eric. So who knows? Not me. We will all know when this campaign launches, and then we start seeing some actual facts. Right now, we can just speculate.
But I would say, and I've been giving this advice to all these guys, Malin, Eric Weathers, EVS, they need to get on the CGC money train. They need to be all aboard. You can see that people are buying them. It's boosting Eric's sales by 40%, 30%. It'll boost their sales. Why not do it? Maybe don't go as like Eric and sell, 4,000 CGCs of one cover, but that's, kind of insane and diluting the market. But I guess if people want to buy them, fucking sell them to them,
Yeah, you're saying strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, it's out there. People are spending money on it. People want them, I
think a lot of people I'm just guessing. I'd never heard of CGC before, ever.
Okay.
I'm guessing
All right,
a lot
stop. No, don't stop. Don't talk about Katie anymore. She's here.
Hey, what's
Hey,
up?
Katie.
I hope I sound okay.
You sound great.
Okay, good. I figured this time I would be inside on my actual mic and not on my Bluetooth headset. So, y'all were talking earlier about like what does Diller own or whatnot. Well, I want to share my screen because I took this clip a long time ago. Let's see, what did I have it? About 4 months ago. And let me know when you got it up.
All right. What am I looking for, Katie?
I'm sharing my screen.
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
Mm-mm. Do you see it, Jim? At the bottom?
There's no way I could see it. That's why he's having internet troubles. Do you want to just tell me what it is, or do you want to link it to me and I'll pull it up?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because
I'll do that.
Put it in the private chat, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I have right now. He's got so long as my screen stays up, I can keep sharing things and doing stuff. If I
Okay.
take
There
it
you
down,
go.
we're screwed.
There you go.
Okay.
So this
Right,
is
Katie,
about
I'm
4
an
months
internet-
ago.
All right, don't worry. I got it, Dave. I got it.
I
So
got
this
it
was
here.
about
No,
4
I got
months
it.
ago.
Okay.
And I don't know how this played out, but eventually Tony actually got an opportunity to get on neutral ground from Dark Gift Stream. And this is kind of the place where you hash your beef out, let's just say. But it's a little more controlled because Dark Gift controls it. But Tony actually got a chance to be on the same stream as Dillard, and Tony asked him a couple questions about their deal with Yellow Flash. So if you want to play it, it'll give you an idea.
Well, he's got yours up, Katie, not mine.
Oh, now mine's
Oh.
up now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yours is up.
Mine's up? Okay. All right.
No, Jim's is up now. I got yours up,
Okay.
Jim.
All right, I got it.
Okay.
I keep dropping, guys. I'm sorry. This fucking internet's driving me nuts.
Not your fault.
Flash blocked me too, and I didn't do nothing.
No, I think that Pete Callen is right on the money with that timeline. Don't you forgot?
What was the timeline?
Yeah, basically what happened was when Yellow Flash took off and deleted that room.
Something good's coming now. Go ahead.
No, you know when he took off, when he deleted that room, right? Everybody got mad at him, and then Ethan started going after Yellow Flash, and then he was like, "Man, fuck you guys, I'm out of here," and he started blocking everybody that was giving him shit, right?
Right. That was December. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ethan's like, "I'm doing Trash Cast," and then Ethan went off the deep end and started doing nothing but trash shows, and then everybody in CG is like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" So yeah,
Right.
there's a very real correlation between the new direction that Ethan went and everybody else like being like, "Hey, this shit ain't right around here." That's like that timeline matches up exactly.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
Go,
but-
Dylan, go.
But the
Can I ask a question of Dillard? Am I allowed? Can I raise my hand, teacher? So, correct me if I'm wrong, Dillard, because I might have incorrect information. But I heard that Yellow Flash was going to do a crowdfunding, and then he canceled it, and that's where the whole argument over the 40% arose from. Because he was supposed to do that crowdfunding, you would have gotten your 40% right away. But then when he canceled it, now you have to wait for the new pre-order campaign. I mean, he was never going to do.
You're incorrect. You are incorrect.
Okay.
See, what happened was we were in a back room and we were talking about the release date of the book, and it was going to be short. And we were like, no, I want to make this longer because there was going to be a fight scene at the end of it that we were going to cut out and put in book 2. And I was like, no, this needs to be in book 1 so we can have a big culmination. So we made the book longer. We made the book because I made that little trailer, coming out in October. I made that like early in the year. We hadn't even started the book yet. And everybody was real excited, but they're like, "Oh well, like I guess the book's not happening now." I was like, "No, we just made the book longer, so we pushed the date back of when we were going to do the campaign."
Well, I think maybe that's
Wait. So they made the book longer, so it came out late.
Yes.
Didn't someone else do
Right.
that, and they gave him a bunch of shit for it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's called
That's
Ethan.
what I thought. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
I just want to make
Interesting.
sure my
it's
math
so
was
funny.
mathing.
I love it when my clips become useful down the road. And this is one of the reasons right here. So I didn't even think about this the other day
I
until
think Dillard's
tonight.
timeline's a little fucked up. I think all the trash cast stuff and that happened after Yellow Flash canceled the room and did all this stuff. Like,
Right. Well, I do
didn't
have
happen.
a clip.
You know that he's got the time. Like trash cast didn't start before. It's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, the canceling of the Comicsgate room and by Yellow Flash, that's what started everything. And
Yeah.
releasing his page rate and all that.
Yes, and I actually have a clip that's that I've gotten several after this one of EVS reacting to this clip and him giving his thoughts on that. So it's
And then I had that stuff
Well, are they going to talk about his 40%?
Yes, it's going to get there.
happened
Yes,
at my house,
yeah,
so
it'll
I
get
had to
there.
take paid work from more paid work from other people because what happened was I was doing about 60% paid work, and I was spending some free time doing the Yellow Flash book as I got free time as it arose. But then I needed to do 100% paid work, so I had to put that project with Yellow Flash I'm doing on hold while I did nothing but paid work. So it pushed the date back even further.
Dude, the worst part is that you feel the need that you have to even justify like all the shit that's happened. You know what I mean?
It's so stupid. Yeah.
No, I'm just telling you what. I'm not justifying. I'm just telling you what happened.
No,
He's giving me clarification because I was wrong, and like I said, a lot of people, the way I was told that October was going to be a launch, and you guys are going to do.
Did you say pause it?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you noticed, this is the thing I like about Dillard. He's very fair when you are talking to him on stream because, of course, Chris was, but Dillard said, no, I'm just answering his question. And of course, Tony said, no, I just wanted to get clarification. No, I want him to tell me his side of the story and my questions. And so I'm glad that Dillard never took offense to Tony asking. And I think Dillard was, I don't know, this is just me. I could be wrong, but I think it was good that Dillard was able to speak his mind a little bit. So
I mean, to me, it seems like Dillard is just kind of stuck in the middle here.
Yeah, he's got no way out. I mean, he can't go ballistic either way here, Jim, because
he's handled it very well. He's definitely done very well, very professional. So
he definitely has
Go ahead
no
and play
type
it.
of cranial damage.
Yeah.
Crowdfunding, and then Yellow Flash had canceled it because of the Eric July thing, and then that's how everyone was explaining it to me.
Dude, to be honest, Yellow Flash should thank his fucking lucky stars you're on that project because I would never back it if it was somebody else, most likely. That's the true facts of it all. But that's just me.
I don't really think that if Ethan wants to go after Yellow Flash, that's fine. But I don't think Ethan should have started bringing up Dillard and whatever their contract was about. That's what kind of threw shade on everything, and that's when the kind of the rift started.
Maybe
But it was okay for fucking Yellow Flash to say Ethan's page rate to everybody, guys, or his cover rate, Jim.
Well, I mean that's not. I see that it's still a difference because it's yellow. It's not. It's Dillard. It's not Yellow Flash.
Yeah, but it's Yellow Flash's contract with somebody. So it's Yellow Flash that's in control of this business. So it's affecting Yellow Flash as much as it is Dillard. So you can take it both ways, in my opinion. I mean, just like, naming the page, naming the number for the page rate on Ethan's pricing doesn't only affect Ethan, it also affects Yellow Flash's revenue that he might make for the book because he thinks he's overpaying. But he's so short-sighted, he doesn't understand what Ethan Van Sciver cover does for the book sales.
Well, also, if you really think about this, he was squawking about a $4,000 cover rate. Plus, Ethan wanted for every 10,000 books it sells, he wanted an extra $1,000 or something.
Of his cover.
Yeah, of his cover. But what the fuck what does he think he was going to sell that he's complaining about a $4,000 cover? I mean, it just doesn't make a little sense. If he does how bad is he? Did he think he was fucking Dillard over by giving him 40%?
Well, just think about that too, Jim. He owns Dillard 40% in perpetuity of this book being printed and sold. After the campaign's over and everything, every time a book sells, he has to give Dillard 40% of the profit.
Eric was saying, how Dillard has confidence and all this stuff in himself by taking the 40%, but to me, it says Yellow Flash didn't have confidence that his book was going to do big money.
I got a couple
worried
super
about
chats.
paying. Go ahead. He was worried about paying for it up front.
Sure. Critical Thinking for £5. Thank you, sir. Jim and BTM, like and sub on both streams. Let's get Jim over 1,000 subs, guys. Let's go, guys. Let's get Jim over 1K subs, please. At least 500, right, Jim? Katie, isn't it? 500 and 3,000 hours. Yeah.
500 and 3,000 hours. Yeah.
I've been stuck at
Jen Wong for
271
10
2 weeks
Australian.
now.
Well, I feel your pain, bro. Malin's projections are massive overestimates. When the economy goes bad, people don't spend; they save up instead. CG King books are seen as investments and are less affected. Can Flash do that? Well,
Yeah. That makes you wonder.
it does. You have a great point there. But people buy on speculation all the time, and they might be afraid of missing out if it's actually good, right, Jim? They might be afraid. That's kind of what happened with ISOM sales, right? What if that shit's good? We learned quick it wasn't, but that's the reality. People buy on speculations just so maybe they can make an extra buck in the bad economy, Jim. Do you agree?
Maybe. I mean, the thing that was a bad economy is you got to have the money to invest.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you buy, you don't speculate, you buy gold, right? You don't buy fucking the new Bitcoin.
Yeah, you buy Cyberfrog gold covers.
Yeah, exactly. So when Eric sells the Golden Patriot for $5, he owes Dillard too. Absolutely. And that's the other thing too. Like, I can't imagine that Rip is going to be able to determine sale prices for the books if about putting them on sale. That's still up to the creator, right, Jim? He's a shipping.
It depends on the contract.
I mean, could you imagine
if he's responsible for marketing the book, that would be setting prices. I don't.
Yeah.
It'll all be up to the contract. What's in the contract?
Very, very good point, Kuroku. The addition of all right, so Dillard is being very, very politically correct here, Katie. Good, you're right. He's towing the line very well.
Yeah. Doing good.
But Dillard, are you getting 40% of the project, 40% of just the first book, 40% of the IP? Because I think that's also a point of contention. Obviously,
None of
you
your
can't say
fucking
anything.
business is the correct.
I mean, I can say whatever. I mean, I'm 40% owner of everything.
Dude, you're gonna make a lot of money. That's the funniest
I mean, I hope so.
part about
Well,
all
I
this
mean,
shit. At the end of the day,
and all
you're
that
gonna
stuff that
fucking
happened with
succeed.
Ethan, like that's old news. That happened and it's over now. Like he said himself, whatever Dillard does, that he made his bed. That's my business.
Right.
I mean, it's not a
That's
secret.
what I'm saying.
It's
No, I
out there.
hear
It's
you.
not
I
a
hear
secret.
you.
So
No, I hear
it is
you.
what it is.
I hear you. Yeah.
Well, I'm not backing Flash. I'm backing Dillard. That's the way I look at it. Everybody
That's
can
how I-
justify
Yeah.
it however they
That's
want.
how I look at it too. Yeah.
You're 40% backing Dillard or 60% backing Flash.
Doesn't matter. I don't care about
Exactly.
that.
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
See,
man.
like this, no one's actually said what did Literature Devil get out of the deal? Did he get a piece?
Yeah, it makes you wonder too, what was the deal with that? Because here's the thing, I know the Quaff has also been working with Yellow Flash and his comic. If I remember correctly, I believe the Quaff is doing a supplemental. I remember Yellow Flash talking about it on stream. I believe I've got the clip for that. But and he has paid Quaff already. So the Quaff has already been paid.
Well, I'm just saying.
So
Like,
I don't know
like
with Literature Devil. I don't know
Literature-
if that's the same way too. If he went on ahead and paid Literature Devil as well, because the Yellow Flash commented and said it's costing a lot of money
Well,
to
Here's the thing, though. Literature Devil's name is in the trailer
exactly.
before Dillard's.
It is.
Well, it's either before Dillard's or before Yellow Flash's. Maybe I should look. I can't. I know it's because I was
It's
like, wait,
Yellow
what the fuck?
Flash, Literature Devil, and then Dillard.
Yeah. So I mean, it's quite possible that Yellow Flash. I don't know. I don't know. It's I can't believe Yellow Flash would surrender.
Another percentage.
Yeah, but maybe that's why Dillard got 40%. Maybe Yellow Flash got 40% and Literature Devil got 20, or maybe they got 30 and 30. I don't know.
I
Is
think
that
maybe
why-
What did Yellow-
Literature
what did
Devil
Yellow
was
Flash-
probably. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry,
Jim.
go ahead. I was just saying
No,
because
you're
if
good.
Literature Devil is writing the story, what is Yellow Flash just had the idea?
Well, it could be that Literature
Well-
Devil is an editor, someone that's looking over, because Yellow Flash, I believe, said that he wrote out, gosh, how many pages? Apparently, he wrote out a ton of stuff.
Okay. I don't.
And he
I mean,
ended up
I
having
don't
to
know.
cut
I'm
it
not-
cut it down.
Oh.
So I believe maybe that's what Literature Devil was there for, was to help cut the story down and get it to go smoothly.
Yeah, but why would he be billed ahead of one of the other owners?
I don't
on
know.
the
I
trailer?
see. I don't.
That's
really,
odd. That's all I'm saying. That's odd.
It could be recognition, like just people know Literature Devil maybe a little bit more than Dillard. I have no idea. I never really thought of it that way. I never thought of it.
I mean, you don't usually put an editor's name on a trailer.
No, not an
unless
editor.
unless it's somebody in the community that a lot of people know, and his channel.
An
You know what I'm
editor?
saying? No, I'm saying with Literature Devil, and it's the name itself. Like, people know who he is. Like, he's got his channel, and I don't know. I don't know.
Is he known for editing comic books?
No, he's got his own comic. I'm just saying, like, apparently his channel's pretty popular, and a lot of people like his videos and all that stuff, so.
I can't
Right.
see. Isn't it on both?
I mean-
isn't his name on both trailers?
No,
It's not.
not that
Just
I
on the-
remember of
Just
Eric's.
on. It's just
no.
on. It's just on Eric's trailer, or it's just on Dillard's trailer.
Dillard's.
Okay. Why? Oh, Julio left. What the fuck?
Probably has great internet like I do.
Is there any more to this, or?
Yeah, it's almost done. Go ahead.
That's what
Yeah,
my-
but did Dillard pay Flash? That's what I heard. I heard Dillard's got to pay Flash that 40%.
Dude, people
Caleb
say-
says everybody wants to be in my business. I got the best business.
I don't want to be in anyone's business. I figured, when was it going to have an opportunity to ask Dillard? I'm not really on stream with him.
That's it.
Great.
So,
Okay. Great
yeah, so
clip, Katie.
he owns 40% of all of it. So
Yeah, he owns 40% of everything.
In between that.
Yellow
What
Flash
is
has
that?
a
What is everything, Katie? I mean,
He owns 40% of the IP. So whatever, it doesn't matter. If there's a fucking movie, Dillard owns 40% of it.
he owns
Right.
40% of all of this character going forward in perpetuity. Next book, movie, whatever. Wow.
All right. Well, you know what, let's get back to John. Or did you have something else, Katie?
no, that's it. I just
Yes.
wanted to point out because I know y'all were talking about what their deal could be. What was 40% of something? I thought.
Well, we knew it was
probably a good
40%. We just weren't sure if
reference.
it was just 40% of this book or if it was 40% of everything. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure it's 40% of everything because his name is on the fucking copyright, trademark, whatever you call it. And why that wouldn't make a
Why
lot
would
of sense.
it doesn't make
Exactly.
sense that Yellow Flash did that, dude? I mean, I know he wants privacy, but
Well,
that tells me
there
that
is
tell you he
there is
doesn't have any confidence in the book.
No, there's a simple answer actually to why Dillard's name would have been on there. I'm not saying this is true. Maybe he's the largest owner of it.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean?
Whoa.
He might be the largest percentage owner of it. His 40% might be the largest percentage. Maybe Yellow Flash only has 30% or something, and someone else has 30%, or maybe someone's got 20 and someone's got 10. I don't know. That would make sense then. You know, the largest shareholder would have their name on it.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't. I know they say he doesn't want to get doxxed, but
I mean, that's a speculation by people. That's not
right.
He never said that, right?
No.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm not pocket watching. I'm just saying. Maybe that would explain it. That would be an explanation that's reasonable.
That'd be the only reasonable explanation, Jim. Reasonable, yeah. Especially if you have the potential to do $2 or $3 million on your first property, right? Or your first book in the property. But I mean,
I don't. Is Dillard letting Yellow Flash control it because they're waiting on Dillard to finish drawing it? So doesn't that mean Dillard's in control since he's drawing it?
and he said he had to go get paid jobs that they were paying him 100%.
No, I
before he could
I
finish it.
believe Dillard's done. I believe he has said the book is done. Everything's done. I'm sure there's like last minute tweaks to setting up the campaign, quote unquote. I bet through Eric's website, the Ripasend, obviously, because that's where it's going. So I'm sure that's what they're setting
I mean,
up right
is
now.
there been a coming soon yet on Ripasend for? Is it a separate website for Ripasend or is it the same website? Does anyone know?
I do not know. I'm sure it's the same website. I would imagine. I believe so. My prediction is they're going to launch it in 2 weeks.
You believe that?
Because right
Really,
now,
Katie?
Horseman just came out now. You know,
Right.
that collection has just dropped. So I give it 2 weeks, and then I believe that's when they'll launch it. But that's just my prediction, just my speculation from what I've noticed over the year.
I just would be amazed that they think people are going to have money that quick. You know, in
Yeah,
3
the
weeks.
Ripasend website is just
Whatever.
a blank landing page. So, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, they
not
have to still probably get it ready to go, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's just a blank landing page. It doesn't.
Ryo Stu says, no, the real money is made by talking about the acolyte and rings of power.
Well, you know,
it's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would look on the Rippaverse site. I have a feeling that it's probably there.
All right. This is
At least the
Horseman.
promo thumbnail of it that we've seen before.
New store. Rippaverse Comics, limited merch. I mean,
Does he not have like a news section or something like for
well, it's a
updates?
new store. You've got iSound Gooding, Ripazine, Fan Expo Gooding Services, iSound. I want it all 560. These. I don't, this is.
Go scroll down. Let's see. Is it down somewhere at the bottom of his page? Like below?
I don't see anything for Ripasend here at all. You got campaigns. iSound 2 Alpha Core, Yaira. They don't even have a because they're not calling any of these other books.
I thought Jay's book was going to come out first.
I thought so too, but I'm guessing Flash is going to come out first, and then Jay afterwards. I would imagine that's probably the decision, maybe because there's already so much eyes on Yellow Flash's comic that getting Ripperson recognition, like get noticed immediately in the quote unquote indie market.
Holy shit! I didn't know that Isom was exposed to the Darkhold. See, he's got a third eye. Oh, I wasn't even on the right one. Never mind. Right here. Shit, I was on the wrong page. No wonder you weren't seeing this. I was on the wrong page. Duh. See, he's got a third eye right there.
Well, that is weird.
Yeah, I don't see anything in here about Ripasend or any special collections.
And then maybe it was just on Twitter. Maybe that's the only place you shared the news of it. That's weird. I would imagine he would have it set up and say coming soon, the Golden Patriot and Achromatic Chronicles, whatever green. Coming soon, just so that everybody knows where it's at.
So news, Ripazine Summer Collection, Horseman. I don't see anything here.
Thank you,
Oh.
Dickington Post.
I don't see anything here. I mean, there's something here for.
I don't either for
from
Jay.
July,
I see.
from Jay's book, but
Nothing for Flash. See, that's weird.
Yeah, where's something for Flash?
So so you're in for wow, great advertising there, Eric. Not everybody has Twitter.
I mean, he should have a like some kind of thing where there's a
Yeah, to say coming soon,
coming
this
soon
is
or something.
yeah.
I don't know.
That's weird, Jim. That makes no sense. But okay, yeah. But
book release. Hold on, book releases.
It's all Eric
Website.
stuff.
Just all Eric stuff.
Nope.
It's nothing about. I mean, it's this, but that's July.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh well.
Let's see.
Not my company. I'm not
My speculation
putting it
is that he'll probably do 2 million plus, and I think that's a fair amount to say. And that's not I wouldn't think that anyone would see that as a snub, but maybe some people are like, "Oh, John's trying to snub." I think $2 million, guys. I only make $250,000 on mine, so $2 million isn't anything to laugh at. So, Joe Schmo says total snub. Yeah, no, it's only a snub in that Yellow Flash. He's not a salesman. I think Ethan is a good salesman. Eric July is a good salesman. These guys know how to sell. Yellow Flash.
And once again, I'm going to point out that if he does, he's saying he's going to do 250 on his Godlike campaign. If he added CGC books, he'd be over 350, probably closer to 400,000.
Yeah, I saw your super chat about that. He was actually kind of shocked. Like, oh, really? You think so? I'm like, no, I think Jim's right. You guys should really consider it.
I mean, Shane does probably an extra 20 to 25% because he offers them.
The signature series for Black Riding Hood on eBay, when I last checked long ago, this past summer, they were asking for $1,200.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like I don't know if you saw, but like last week we pulled up the numbers. Like Eric is, I mean, people are buying them, so it's not Eric's fault, but his market is so diluted with the CGC. Like, yeah, ISOM 2, it was like 4,000 CGC books. That's insane.
That's
4,000
insane.
out of 17,000.
Yeah. Like we
21,000,
added up
yeah.
all the numbers of his 5 books, all 5 of his books that were CGC, because ISOM wasn't part of it because it didn't get CGC'd yet. Yaira, Alpha Core, the first
Right.
Ripazine, and then
Horseman.
ISOM 2. Well,
Mhm.
Horseman's not in there yet either.
Right.
And he didn't CGC Goody. He was at like almost I don't want to. It was either 18 or 30, some 18 or 30,000 CGC books.
18.
And then we pulled up I pulled up like the Punisher, the entire run of the Punisher. 600 books, and they were like the same number of CGC books.
Mhm.
Wow.
That were done by private people.
Yeah.
They weren't even done by the company.
Yeah.
Those people doing it themselves, sending it out themselves, paying for it.
Yeah, the problem, doing it yourself, it's you can't,
Yeah, what's your thought on that? When like people sign up to get theirs.
I mean, you can do it.
CGC?
It's not that expensive. You got to set up an account. I think it's like $45.
Okay.
It's not. But you got to send it to them and stuff, and then it gets, and it is what it is. And Eric is Eric guarantees you'll get at least a 9.6.
Right.
Which, if it's a brand new book, fresh out of the case, you should be getting 9.7s, 9.8s. Like 9.8, you should be
Sure.
getting 9.8s all day long. You should be getting some 9.9s and some 10s.
Right. Okay.
Really, you should. I mean, it's a brand. It's never been touched.
Mm-hmm.
I think Eric had a couple 10s, right, Jim?
Yeah, he had a couple 10s. But
Right.
so who knows? But yeah, I think John would do very well. Like his books hold
They
their
add
value.
value. Yeah, they do.
and,
Actually,
he
you know
doesn't-
what's funny? Black Angus put out a tweet and I shared it. He put out a tweet where he was scrolling, what was it, Smiller's Lone Star, and it showed taking a video of him scrolling through eBay of the difference in
Oh, yeah,
the
I see
value
that.
of
I
their
get
books. That was good.
Yeah, I got it.
It shows. It shows, man.
Oh, wrong thing.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It hurt a little bit to pay $100 for Black Riding Hood, but I knew Ethan only had but so many left, and I saw what the prices were on eBay, and I was like, "Shit, man,
Yeah,
I gotta
now,
grab it."
now it's like the cheapest I've
200.
yeah, like 200 right now on eBay. So I mean,
Yeah, it was worth it. The story itself was worth it. So
I had it. Where the fuck is it? Son of a bitch. What the fuck?
Yeah, he only had a couple 10 Simply Green out of all those books he submitted. Fucking crazy.
So yeah, here's Miller's books scrolling through eBay that are for sale. Miller's, and you can see, like there's a good one, this signed DC art book for 120 or best offer, brand new. That's a good, like decent price.
That's
I don't
not
know what it
bad.
costs new, but most of them are, and then you're going to go look for mail-in, and you're going to see like
but just proofs
Godlike
speak
on
louder than words. That's for sure.
yeah. So here, but look, just like this,
Looking at
this the supplement book. All right. Graveyard Shift Volume 1 and 2 in the supplemental plus a print, 170. This is just the Romulus Saga, brand new and supplemental for $180. So you got 2 books for $180.
Damn.
Yeah.
and the longer it sits, and it's still in good quality, it goes up higher.
Here's the Godlike, $100.
Just Godlike, yeah.
Just Godlike.
Look, there it is,
here's
Black Riding.
Went for 120.
Brand
I wonder
new.
if someone actually bought that CGC Black Riding Hood, man. I was like, could not believe what it was going for. But God, that was such a good book.
Jim said it wasn't long
Really,
enough.
it's not long enough. It's like I wanted more. I was like so
Well,
excited.
He's talked about doing like an actual book a couple times. I heard him say, he thought about doing a full book on Black Riding Hood, and maybe actually just doing making it a series. But,
He should. I've super chatted him and told him you need to make this a series. I think he's trying to get through this campaign and Graveyard Shift, and then he said he was going to look into it. But I'm like, man, this story's so good, and it really makes you want more. And it's like, there's so many questions you have about it, and like the fact it's a father and son, situation, and the gore in it, and cussing and bad words. It was such a good story, man.
Yeah.
You see the difference? Eric July gets out there, makes videos. Love him or not, he gets out there, he makes videos. He's talking directly to the people. He's pushing. Yellow Flash, no one even knows what he looks like. It's a different ball game, guys. There's a lot of variables. But also keep in mind, this is a number 1 issue. Number 1s, I expect, do well. Even the decline in sales from ISOM, I expected it. I didn't believe for a second that it would do 5 million in sales. I expected a decline because that's the general way comic books work. Like, issue number 1s, speculator market comes in. People want to be sure they get as many number 1s as possible, just in case they can flip it 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. Number 1s usually do really good. Then you get to the number twos, and then the speculators cut their orders down. So then you get into number two doing less. And I believe my prediction for number two was 2-something million orders, and that, again, that wasn't meant as a slight. I don't see that as everything falling apart. I see ISO number one is doing as well as it did because it's ISO number one. It's the maximum amount of promotion for a number one issue, a lot of hype, a lot of speculation. Number ones do great. And after that, generally sales go down. So yeah, so I said 2 million something is where I predicted. I think that's where it landed. I also said the next ISOM. Ethan said ISOM was going to do less than a million. The next ISOM 3, I guess, would do less than $1 million. I said I didn't see that. I see it making still over $1 million. And now I believe Ethan is now saying he's changed his mind to where it's doing over $1 million. So, and I think that's fair. So, look, these things may not have stabilized. Like whatever the true number for Eric July's market is, when you take out speculators for number one, I don't know. Maybe it's 900,000. And that, and that ain't bad. $900,000, not backers. Yeah, that might be more where he kind of settles at, right around $1 million. So, and anything under that, then I would say, hey, there might be a concern, or lack of excitement. Anything doing less than $1 million, a number one, like these other books that went out. I think one of them did less than $1 million. I don't know if it was the Good Ying. Was it Good Ying? So one of these books didn't do exceptionally well. So that's like a red flag. If I was at Rippaverse, I'd say, oof, we don't want anything doing under $1 million. Yeah, it was a Good Ying. Yeah, Good Ying, Lord Finatra. Good Nig. Oh my God. Finatra.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, if Eric would have did some more stuff with Good Ying, a little more promotion, a little advanced warning that it was coming out, instead of just dropping it.
A little more love for the product.
Showed a little love, maybe some CGC books. Letting people know that you had faith in it. Because you got to let people, it's like they say with movies back when they would do a movie in 3D, and it said, well, the studio must have faith in that movie to invest in 3D.
Right.
Yep.
I agree.
How dare you? So, yeah. Anyway, so I expect Yellow Flash's book to do over $2 million, $2 million or better. The market will determine. The market will find it, and then I expect, if there is a second issue, because again, writing that check for $300,000 is going to hurt. But if there's a second issue with John Dillard on board, then I expect the sales to take a drop, by nearly $1 million. And that's not a slight, that's not a snub. That's the natural progression of things. F.E. Sunny says 2 million or better. John, what are you smoking? Just the information that I have, guys. Look, if it does less than 2 million, that's probably, I don't know, that's a concern. Coach says, or Job of the Coach says, I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared if it did less than 2 million, I guess. I think everybody would be scared. I think Yellow Flash wants to do comics. Like, that's what he wants. Like, he told me, I don't know if that was on the show or what, but when we were still chit-chatting, he told me he'd rather just be doing comics than YouTubing. Like, he'd rather YouTubing take a back seat so that he could just do comics full time. So if his book comes out,
I got to do YouTube to sell the comics. Who else is going to sell the fucking comics to?
Yeah, of course. You have to have the YouTube presence. Nobody knows who you are without your YouTube presence. The fuck, Yellow Flash. Katie, I think he's being very generous for 2 million.
Yes, but I can also see what his point is in the 2 million, just because of the amount of outreach that Yellow Flash has. His networking. Think about FNT. Think about side scrollers.
The same people.
All that audience over there. Yes, as well as Eric's. So, and obviously, several people in CG. And
well,
those
we'll
who,
know the day it releases within 24 hours if it's going to hit 2 million.
Yeah,
if it only does a couple 100,000 on the first day, it's not going to hit 2 million.
Yeah, it's I would expect that Yellow Flash for me would be 400,000, close to
It needs to be
500,000
700,000 or 1 million, like or
on the
ISOM
first day.
was.
On the first day,
ISOM did 1 million in 36 hours, Jim?
I thought it did 1 million in 24 hours, but
yeah, something like that. It was crazy fast.
Yeah,
he needs
so if you have that kind of numbers for Eric, well, for Eric's side, if you have that kind of numbers, that could be a possibility for Flash, especially with
the same audience.
Yeah,
but see here, Yellow Flash can't go on Fox News wearing a mask to sell his comic book. That's a problem. Like Eric
Right.
did. So
And he can't go on CG and talk about his books because he's burnt that bridge, like Eric did.
Yeah.
A lot of CG buyers
But
bought
he
that book,
also
baby.
has his
Dillard's going to be able to
FNT.
go on people's shows to promote the books, and yeah, he can't go on Tim Pool because he hates Tim Pool's guts and talk shit about him all the time. So that's not going to work.
Well, I think what it's going to boil down to is how Yellow Flash pitched this campaign. How is he going to convince the public and the audience who doesn't know what he looks like, take his word on
Yeah,
what
we
this
talked
book's
about that
going to
Saturday,
be,
didn't we?
like to
Yeah.
sell it to them? He has to really come out and put out a very good pitch, something that's very upbeat, that gets the point
What he needs
across.
to do is he needs to get a costume made, the exact costume that his character wears. Put that on and stream like a live stream,
Yeah.
standing up talking, and like
Yeah.
in front of a green screen, and then like pretending he's fighting Nazis and stuff.
That would be gold. Get it? Gold Patriot. Be gold. I think that'd be a good idea. I don't know why he wouldn't take advantage of that. But he's gotta be able to pitch it. And yeah, Dillard will be there, and Dillard does a very good job with it.
Matt
But what
Barr
if he's
did
a
cover for
what if he's a
Flash too,
fat
didn't he?
guy?
Say that again.
Well, I mean,
What
he
if
can
he's a-
hire somebody to pretend he's him.
Oh, okay. But
don't-
you said Yellow Flash do it.
Well, yeah, get somebody dressed in the costume to go and and just.
It might as well be
could
Yellow
voice it.
Flash.
Yeah, Yellow Flash.
Well,
could
and then
voice it
hire,
over.
and then hire a voice actor. Hire a voice actor, dude. He's so boring.
Yeah, he
He's
could
so
fu-
fucking boring.
I think Vic Mignogna is looking for work.
I think Vic gets plenty
Yeah,
of
but
work.
it'd have to be Dillard because Dillard's the voice of the antagonist in the series, the main character. Remember in the trailer
I don't know.
where he talks? It would have to be Dillard. But anyway, I think what I'm trying to say is, so it's going to be really up to how they pitch this. I have said this before on my Monday morning stream, but I've told Dillard that his trailer was better than Eric's, and honestly, I believe, I think what would be smart is to for them to play their trailer a lot. Yes, you
Yeah.
can do Eric's Ripperson, but let's be real, that trailer almost
was-
got me to buy the book, and I
Well, the
hate
tr-
Yellow
well-
Flash with everything in me.
Yeah,
But
Dillard's
it
trailer
got
was really good, but Eric's was stinky. Like, do you think Eric would want to promote Yellow Flash to the point that he outsold ISOM?
Makes you wonder, don't it? Why
I
that
mean, I don't
trailer
think
and
he
not
would.
show Dillard's?
I
Interesting.
don't think he
Why
would,
not show Dillard's and at least put your Ripperson logo or something, attached to it at the end?
Something.
Yep.
What? Why did you make yours? That was stupid, and nobody knew about
I wonder how much-
Dillard's trailer until later that week on Flashcast.
I wonder how
I mean,
much
that's-
that trailer that Eric made is going to cost them. Because I'm sure it's in the contract that any promotion and
He would get
materials
a-
and costs.
Yeah, it ain't free. Yeah.
No, but he would get a tax write-off for it.
Well, they would, but I'm saying like Eric, who knows? Maybe that's where Eric got the money to do his Horseman animation was Yellow Flash's trailer. It didn't, it just didn't cost me nothing. I had someone else pay for it. I'm just fucking around.
I know. Makes you wonder, though, don't it? All the speculations. But
Well, the 20% or whatever it is, Chris, is the total. Like whatever the sales are, it has nothing to do with anything. That's like if it sells $2 million, Eric July would get $400,000
right.
if that's the contract.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to hop off here now because it's getting late. But I will say this: it's just gonna be. I think this is gonna be fun to watch. I think this is gonna be interesting to see how Ripperson is gonna work. How does it
Yeah, I wonder-
benefit
I wonder if
Flash
they're
and
gonna
Dillard?
if they're going to CGC the books, if they have confidence to CGC them.
I want to say Yellow Flash said that he was not going to do that just because of the process of getting that done, apparently. But that could have changed. That anything can change at any moment. But like I said, this is going to be fun to watch. It's going to be like, a little bit of politics. Watch what happens. How well does Flash do under the pressure of pitching his campaign on these big streams? How's Eric going to promote by using Ripicid? Will it be successful for Drunk 3PO as well, coming in right after Yellow Flash? It's going to be fun to watch. I'm kind of excited about watching, seeing how it goes down.
How well's Bloodruth going to do?
I don't know. I don't think that's coming till October or something.
I think it's only
October
2
will
weeks
be
away.
Yellow
Well,
Yeah.
now, God, time's flying. I keep forgetting how quick.
But that's
flies.
why I'm hopping in because I just got here, but I've been listening. This book ain't coming out in 2 weeks, Katie.
You don't think so?
either.
No, Bloodruth.
Eric's not gonna-
They've already
Eric's not
announced
gonna let that
Bloodruth.
happen.
Yeah, Bloodruth's coming out in October. So he's not
Is
gonna.
this today?
He's not. They've already said it's coming out. They didn't say October exactly, but in
This
time
year.
for Halloween.
Halloween.
No, for Halloween and stuff. It's gonna. Let me see if I can find it. I saw something.
Well,
today.
they'd be
They
stupid if they didn't do it.
basically said
around
it's dropping
Halloween.
October. They basically said it's dropping October 1st.
So, do you think that their Yellow Flash and Diller are going to have to push it until November?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Before Christmas.
They're not ready to go. Because unlike Marvel and everybody, real publishers, Eric can't be allowing people to have to choose between two of his books.
Well, he's going to have that anyway because he's going to have this Horseman campaign is going to be still going on into November.
Well, see,
No, it's going to be
if he
I
would
bet
have gotten.
Bloodroot's going to drop right after this ends.
This ends in 50
Horseman
days.
campaign
Dude.
is 52 days.
Oh, okay.
Here's my
That's
thing. I
November.
think it would have worked. It would have worked out well for Yellow
Eric
Flash.
said he was going to have like
if
4
they would have
campaigns going
put-
at the same time.
If they would have put Horseman out in June like Eric was supposed to and claimed to have gotten it out then there wouldn't be a clusterfuck right now in the middle of September and October with 3, 4 Bloodruth, Drunk 3POs, Yellow Flash, and right now Horseman. You got 4 books all like clusterfucked together. So I think if he would have gotten Horseman out in time, then they could have focused on Dillard and Yellow Flashes now, and then eventually get to Bloodruth. That's just my
Yes, I do think that Yellow Flash will be on Nerdrotic Show, Dave.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
you, Jim?
plenty of times. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be on FNT.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
He'll probably be on Real BBC too.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll be on all those fucking shows.
Oh my
That
god,
will
he's
be
gonna
on,
be on Rip Ass. Oh
he'll
no,
be
he's
on
gonna
Rip
be
and
on
the
Rip
Silverback,
Ass. Oh
Mhm.
no, God, Pastor Flash, you're gonna have to help me through that one. Oh, that's gonna be
Andrew,
a hard stream to watch.
Andrew Rowland for $2 says, "No, Vic is mine. I got dibs."
Vic's going to need all the jobs he can get.
Why is he
Yeah.
in trouble again?
No, he's got a lot. He's
Dude,
got a lot of bills to pay.
He's in trouble for the rest of his life, dude. Look at the size of that judgment.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
I hate to say this, but yeah, that Vic's gonna be significantly impacted for the rest of his life over that.
What's sad?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
sad.
it is.
Why
All right,
can't
let me
It's
get
sad
off.
that a
let
bunch
me-
of
let me get off
SJWs were
here.
able to get away with that.
Yeah, you got.
All
a
right, well, let
job
me
to
get
do,
off.
Katie.
Yeah, I gotta get off here and get ready for bed. Thank you, Jim, for sending me a link in BTM, and Cap Turtles, good to see you. Guys, tune
Hey.
in tomorrow if you like anime. Tune in to I Got You Stimulated Scenic. I see you in the chat. If you guys are interested, check out my anime show tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna go over a little bit of Dragon Ball, but we're gonna do like our top 5 anime shows to be watching, and all kinds of good stuff we got planned. Just maybe Mr. Popo will show up, if you know what I mean, guys. And we'll see you soon. And thank you so much, guys. It's good to see y'all.
Thanks, Katie.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, the gorilla in the silverback. Go ahead, Jim.
Does less than $1 million. Ooh. Those dreams are crumbling. Moon Goon says there's no way the retard is getting 2 million. What do you guys think he's going to get? Everyone put your numbers in. Let's see what everyone's predicting for Yellow Flash. Everybody give me your numbers. Lay it down. Put your balls on the table. Let's see your numbers. Then we can come back here and we can laugh when all these numbers come out and they're right or wrong.
Jim, pause it.
I mean, I think, honestly here, I think if Yellow Flash's book does 500,000, it's a great success.
I would say so, too.
You know, I mean, it could do a lot more, but I mean, I would think at 500,000, it's a smashing success, more than Yellow Flash imagined. I would say, because if he imagined it doing more than that, why the fuck would he give 40% of it away?
Because he's not a businessman.
I can't believe that he gave 40% away, Jim. I mean,
He didn't give it away. I mean, he's got the guy drawing it. I mean, I don't know. Did he draw? Like, did Dillard come up with the character design? Say, Dillard, did Dillard come up with the character design and everything? Was it just Yellow Flash's idea? I don't know. I mean, if it was like Yellow Flash and Dillard talking, and he said, "This is what I want to do," and Dillard started coming up with the character, and Dillard came up with the character, probably should have more than 40%.
Let's be realistic. He's been successful on YouTube. He's not
right.
That's it. And I've been around long enough to know. I've seen too many people do this. We're going to start a business and we're going to be 50-50 because they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand what they're entering into when they do that. I agree with Ethan. If it does well and I'm Dillard, cool. I'm going to go do my stuff from now on, and you can hire somebody else to draw it. And I'll just be, I'll just wait for my 40% check to come in
on everything that gets made in that character's name.
Yeah.
And Chris Bacon says, if you're giving a percentage of your take to a 3PL, you're a moron.
Yes.
Well, Chris, I would just say we don't know that it's 60-40.
Yeah, we don't know that.
There might be another person that owns a piece of it. It's possible. I'm not saying there is. I'm not making that claim. I'm saying there could be, though.
Allegedly.
No, not even allegedly. It's possible. There could be another person that owns a piece of it.
If he's not a complete idiot, and this is Yellow Flash we're talking about, so that is a possibility. He had 9% to play with for these other people.
It's a good question, Samba. Is Dillard responsible or liable for 40% of the legal costs if the owners of the Power Rangers IP sues Yellow Flash and Dillard? Yeah, I would think so. Because his name's the owner. He's the owner on the copyright, right, Jim?
Yeah, but on Cap, don't you think that's possible? I mean, it's possible the reason Dillard's name is on the trademark is he's the largest percentage owner.
It's possible, or it's because he's been through the process before and knows how to do it.
Yellow Flash hasn't ever trademarked Yellow Flash?
Probably not, considering it's a DC property.
Well, he is Yellow Flash too.
Right. But yeah, I guarantee he hasn't. He hasn't done. Does he? Has he done merch and stuff? What besides like a Teespring type thing?
I have no idea.
And probably Dillard owns 40% of the total IP. So of everything, he owns 40%. Who owns the rest of it? We're speculating. Yep. So like we assume that Yellow Flash owns 60, but it's possible he doesn't. It's possible there's another person. I mean, there's possible that
Literature Devil owns some.
Dillard owns a piece of it. If I seem to remember Dillard saying that it was a 60-40 split.
No, he just watched the video. He owns 40% of everything.
No. I understand. Right. I seem to remember him not only saying it's 40% of. There's other streams in the past where I've heard him say it was 60-40.
Was that before Literature Devil came in to write the script?
Yeah, nobody knew about Literature Devil coming in, and so, but here's the thing: like Katie was saying, somebody else, they went ahead and paid the other people.
Well, they had to pay a letterer, they had to pay a colorist, right? Because Dillard didn't do Dillard did what? The pencils and inks, right?
Right.
So colorists, you know, and then Ms.
Editors.
I'm not saying that this is the case. I'm just saying it's
Right,
possible that the Literature Devil came in for a piece of the ownership.
It's possible, but I doubt it.
You know, maybe 10%.
And the other thing is he's on one trailer that Dillard made. It's not like they went to somebody and said you have to have these people and put them. And Dillard went and downloaded an After Effects template and made a trailer.
No, Eric doesn't own 20% of the IP.
No.
Eric's going to get
of the
20%.
shipping.
He's going to get like 20% of the sales to cover shipping and production.
Or more.
Yeah, or more, whatever comes out. You know what I mean? You know,
Lord Pepsi for 5. Thank you, sir. More money, more problems, and they ain't going to handle it well. Caddy, internalized jealousy. Yeah, and imagine if Yellow Flash did 4.5 million, Jim. Eric would lose his shit.
Eric would get it. I think Eric would be bothered by it. Really, he'd be like, "What the fuck?" But you know, he'd be. But if you know what, he'd still, if he did, that would be $900,000.
Make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the U.S. Patent Office says Dillard is the sole owner. Whatever contract they have may say something else, which is strange.
It is strange.
It is.
That's what I'm saying. Like normally, it would be that whoever owns the, you know, there would be there's probably a contract, you know, but. Yeah.
Well, I mean, forgive me. I don't know Dillard from Adam. I know I don't.
Thanks for the $5, Lord Pepsi. Yeah.
I don't. I'm not saying this is the case, but how do we know Dillard didn't plan on this? Realize he's working with a rube and plan on screwing him over.
Maybe. Dillard seems like a nice guy. I don't know. I mean,
he does.
He seems like a really nice guy. He doesn't. I haven't seen him really attack anyone.
Caddy, internalized jealousy. Yeah.
You're echoing.
Hey,
back,
did you get my page, Old Man Dave?
Did I get a page? No.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Oh no, no, sorry. Oh shit. Yeah, no. I did not get a page. I still have balls.
All right.
You know what I think about
Halal Mojo.
How is everybody?
Good.
Good.
Outstanding.
I think Eric July is taking at minimum 25 to 30%.
I
believe that's
That's
high.
a standard. It's high, but I do not
high.
believe that Eric would do anything for any of these people as a friend. I just don't believe
No,
it.
it's not friends, but I mean, it's got to do. I think it has to do. It's got to be scaled though. Like it's got to be like,
listen,
up
you
to
know
a
what?
certain point,
Here's
it's this
the thing.
much. When if you get over 1 million, it's this much. If you know what I mean,
Yellow Flash is the biggest idiot here. He gave away 40% of his IP to a guy to draw a book. Now, could that be a good deal? Yes. If you
for
hire
Dillard, it could
Greg
be a great deal.
No. Well, sure, for Dillard it is. But the thing is if you're giving up half of an IP, see, that's the thing. Like Yellow Flash, he's a shitty YouTuber, but he's a famous shitty YouTuber. He's got lots of people who follow him for some reason. I have no idea. I used to listen to him like 5 years ago when he would review comics and he would stab the comic with his knife and rip them up, and people used to get, they used to go crazy about that. But like, as far as what he's been doing for the last few years, dude, I mean,
paint dry
I don't
content.
listen to it, but I mean, people are like, he's the draw here. Dillard really isn't the draw. I mean, Dillard's a great artist. He's a good comic guy. Like, this is a crazy deal for him. But the thing is, it's like, you, as a business, as a guy who owns an IP, you only give 40% of something to it. If you're getting someone who's such a huge value, like, so if you're bringing in an artist like Greg Capullo,
what if Dillard completely developed the character? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he designed the character.
So the thing is Dillard can have designed the characters. I'm gonna my feeling, and I could be wrong, but I think Yellow Flash, this is his idea. He wrote it. He came up with the characters, whatever. He hired Dillard. Dillard will have done all the character designs unless Flash had hired a concept artist to do so. I don't think. Here's the thing. I don't think Yellow Flash is. I don't think he's smarter than Eric July at this point. Like, he gave away 40%. Character design isn't worth 40% in comics. Drawing a comic isn't worth 40% unless you're teaming yourself to an artist that will bring an even huger audience. So Dillard has the same kind of audience as a lot of these, like, you know, these comics geek guys.
I would
Before,
think.
but hold on. Before we move too far away from who designed it, let's just be honest. Haim
Well,
Saban.
it was, yeah, Saban. Here's the most hilarious thing too, right? Is that if they determine that they look so much like the Power Rangers that there's a case, they won't cease and desist it now. They're going to wait until the money comes in. So
Sure.
if it ends up looking super Power Rangers-y, which it does, and these guys sell it, and then these guys make, and then the money comes in, that's when Saban or whoever owns Power Rangers now is going to come on and say, well, you guys, we've got some issues with the way this thing looks. And then they're going to end up getting all that money.
Here's the real problem. Yellow Flash was on several shows before the before all this blew up, where he explicitly said that it was based on the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So they're gonna say derivative work. Here's the here's the creator and owner in his own words saying that we did that.
Well, I think Jim was saying that, like, Dillard could have really contributed to this. Like, maybe it's almost like a Kirby kind of Stan Lee relationship. Not that they're the equal to those people, but maybe it's kind of like bouncing the ideas together. So, like, Yellow Flash comes to the book and says, oh, I've got this idea. I like Power Rangers. Can you make me a Power Rangers comic? But it's not Power Rangers. It's the Golden Knight or whatever it is.
But why doesn't Yellow Flash own the IP?
Well, that's the thing. Like, he gave up 40%.
I'm going to say the patent office, the United States Patent Office, the name of the book is under Dillard's name, not Yellow Flash's. So that's what Chris is saying. Since Dillard owns the IP, maybe he partnered with Yellow Flash and gave him 60 because he thought his name would move way more copies than he ever could by himself.
That's a great conspiracy theory. I mean, or a possibility. Like, I mean, I would believe that too, because I asked Yellow Flash years and years ago on Twitter, on my previous Twitter account that I had, because I was watching all their videos at the time, and I was trying to break into comics too, right? And I said, hey, if you ever, and I talked to him just briefly a couple of times, and I wrote to him like, hey, if you ever have a comic idea, I did this with your boy Zach too, and I ended up doing a little bit of work for your boy Zach, but then I did it with Yellow Flash too. I asked him, if you've ever got a comic idea, I'd love to maybe team up with you, draw it, whatever. And he told me, oh, I'm not a comic book writer at all.
Who told you that?
Yellow Flash.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this could have been something like he put it out there that he wanted to do a book, and then maybe the stars aligned and brought him and Dillard together, and then they co-created the thing, maybe.
Hence why.
But I'd be worried.
Hence why.
Uh-oh. Hello?
I think he got interneted again.
Oh, yeah, he's got bad internet tonight, right? Oh,
so how you been?
I've been all right. It's been a minute. I stepped away from YouTube for a while because it just got so crazy, and I just kind of got lost in like what I was doing. I was talking to Dave about this earlier, is like, I didn't know what my I had so many weird personas on YouTube that I was like, who am I, right? And so I just kind of had to step away from it and fucking reassess who I am. Dave and I had a pretty good stream the other night where we were like up pretty late. All of a sudden he came on and he'd had a few bourbons, I think, and I'd had a few drinks and smokes, and I was like, yeah, this was a lot of fun to just shoot the shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
that
guys
would have been
kicked Dave
fun.
out? Good job. Get rid of Dave.
Yeah, we
Could've
got
did a long
rid
time.
of BTM.
So
Yeah.
now maybe I mean it kind of for Yellow Flash if he designed the character or whatever or came up with all the ideas and everything and all Dillard is doing is drawing and penciling and inking it, to give him 40% to me it means Yellow Flash didn't have confidence that it was going to do over 150,000 or something like that, like, because otherwise the numbers don't make sense.
Well, yeah, like there's a couple of things that you could assume. You could assume that he didn't have the confidence, although he's kind of seeing the space and what's happening. He didn't have confidence, or he just didn't think like, or he strikes me like as possibly like a cheap kind of guy who's just like, oh fuck it, I'll give you 40% if you do the book for free, kind of thing. Like not even thinking about the numbers. So it's probably a combination of both, right? It's like, oh fuck it, I don't want to pay anybody anyway.
I just don't know how he has that conversation in his brain when he looks at Eric July numbers with about the same number of YouTube fans and the same grouping of the fellowship that they're all a part of, and thinks that to himself. Like, if it was really his idea, I don't understand how anybody could be that short-sighted to think that he's not going to at least maybe make $700,000 on his first book and give away 40% of that for reasons. It doesn't make any sense.
Even if, but see, Dave, even if he made, say he makes $1 million, okay, on the book.
Yeah.
All right, let's just do round numbers here. $1 million, and it costs him. Let's see.
20% to
hold on. But the Ripon, that's not going to actually count the printing of the books, though, is it? That's going to be a cost.
I think all in. See, that's why I'm saying 25 and 30, because I think it's shipping, printing, warehousing. We know that's
advertising,
and advertising. You think that if Yellow Flash is coming on to like, Eric's channel, that's going to become a business between them. Like he's going to have to bill against like sales of the book for that. Like we used my time to advertise you. Like,
but isn't it our time, Mr. Hand?
Right.
Mr. July, sir.
Well, and think about it, like they have to go, okay, the campaign's over. We sold, $1 million, and it's going to cost us 25% off the top to get these things out the door. So already Dillard's out 25% of profit, right? He's already out 25%.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
250K gone.
Okay, but wait, even still, okay, say Eric takes 30%, they make $1 million to do all the printing and everything, the shipping and everything stuff. So that takes it down to 700,000. They got to pay taxes on the 700,000.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
So
There's
that's
taxes.
that's 280 grand right there.
Yeah.
Off the 700,000. So now you're down to just over 400,000 split between the two of them.
Jim, do they do the taxes after the split so that each individual can get taxed for what they earned on the income?
It's not going to matter.
Rather than the company.
At that point, it's not
does
going to matter.
It matters to Dillard, and it matters to Flash because they'll be able to take home more and get taxed on their own.
I mean, I don't know if they've got. Is there an LLC? Is it set up as an S corp? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Things. I thought they were doing it as probably individual,
But either way, you can bank on the number that you said clearly going to taxes, like anywhere from 150 to 280 is taxes.
It's well over 40% because it's going to be taxed as a bonus. It's too much money for their income level.
No, it's going to be it's going to be taxed like a bonus or short-term capital gains.
These guys are going to walk away with money, but it's not fuck you money at all. Like,
No.
even if it's $1 million success, like I think that's their best chance. I'd be surprised if it makes that, only because like I look at Goodying. Like, so the thing is like, are Yellow Flash's fans the same as Eric July's fans? So like, how much crossover is there between
100%?
I'd say there's a lot. And the thing is now is there's a certain percentage of that audience who 2 years ago spent $3.5 $6 million on ISOM, who are now like, well, this whole fucking thing is like, I support it. I'm not really a comics guy, so I'm kind of out on the new campaigns, and we've seen it. There's an uptick with Horseman, but that's Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. Those are the kind of guys.
That's also CG rated books and more T-shirts than Goodjin got.
Well, yeah,
Goodjin
exactly.
got no
But
CGC books.
yeah, the CGC, all that stuff, like the gimmicks and whatever. But the book is selling better because it's Dixon and Bennett.
No, plus Goodyin had an $18 cover, and the highest cover was $35.
Yeah.
Horseman has the cheapest cover is $25. The other two are $35, and then there's a $50 cover.
Right. Plus, he's selling
Oh,
Alpha
you know what I mean?
Core
Yeah.
CGC books in this
Right.
campaign, Dave.
You know,
He's selling
and the
Alpha
CGC,
Core.
you know, he's selling $150 CGC books.
I have no idea. I have no idea in the world why anybody would ever buy a CGC book of a Eric July.
Because they've never
Dude,
set
the
foot.
numbers.
Because they've never set foot in a comic book store.
Yeah, they have got no clue.
And they think that that's normal.
Jim, look at this. Look at Chris.
What's Bacon
here.
saying? Dillard was
kind
kind
of
of
dumb.
Well-
the IP is registered to him directly and not an LLC, which he should have set up. He'll be paying taxes a personal income tax rate plus California taxes.
Oh, he's going to pay close to 50%.
Get fucked.
Yeah, but then there you go. And if it's registered to him and not an LLC, then
It is
he
him.
ends up being the one that's liable if there's a lawsuit because of copyright issues.
Yeah, someone needs to. It's not. I mean, someone should talk to him because he needs to get it into an LLC fast because
I am Gooding's
Quick,
biggest fan.
before it's released.
yeah, you know,
Gooding. Did anybody read Gooding?
I liked it.
Gooding. You did?
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, it.
Imagine if Eric had actually promoted that book.
I mean, I thought it was it was a comic book.
Yeah,
it was a comic book.
Yeah.
It was a night. The story went boop 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 and moved along, and it wasn't didn't get caught up. I didn't have to do a lot of thinking.
Yeah,
Not a lot of minutia.
well, that's
You know,
the thing.
it was-
Like, I keep wanting to find out more about this book, but there just is like this fan base that exists. Nobody talks about the stories online. Like,
I did a
they
review.
just kind of say, "Good." Oh, did you? Okay,
Yes.
then I missed that.
I did a
I'm,
review.
I'm just trying to fucking.
Go to Jim Tells You and
yeah.
sub.
I'm just trying to take the piss out of these quote
No,
unquote real Rippaverse Gooding fans that apparently exist.
You know, I
right?
mean, there was. Don't get me wrong. It's not a perfect book. It's not. I think that Godlike was way better.
yeah.
You know, the
Well,
story.
I mean, it's
You
going to
know-
make sense that these books are his best books. Like, you have Mike Barron. He's going to write a competent book. At the very least, it's going to be competent, and at the most, it's going to be cool and awesome. And then he's paired together with an artist that's a real working artist too, right? So
yeah,
but the problem,
Gooding and Horseman are going to be the best books.
Yeah.
The only problem is he was hindered because it was Eric's idea, whereas Horseman has nothing to do with
Yeah.
it.
I think it was edited. I think there was some edits made to the book, maybe late.
Yeah.
Kind of because there's some things that were missing from the book that were in the original trailer, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, exactly, right? It's the weirdest company in the world. It's infinitely interesting to talk to or talk about.
Right.
Dave, share
What
my
was-
screen.
Okay. Oh no, not this.
One of the other problems that Dillard's gonna have.
Well,
Golden Patriot. Well, we
I mean,
could
it's
run
a
into it, and
it's a
we
completely
could run
different-
into an ISOM situation here.
No, I doubt they have. I doubt they have literary. You know what I mean? Like
Media,
media.
yeah.
You know, they're not. There'd be no reason
Well, I
for
just-
them to have a trademark of media.
I just hope Dillard didn't design a scooter like this for the character by accident. Otherwise, then there is.
Well, that would
there
be a
will
problem.
be a-
Yes.
That would be a huge problem.
Yeah, because the Golden Patriot chariot would be a problem.
Hey, send Chris Bacon that link, Jim.
Okay.
Since we're talking business, he wants to come on and talk business.
Okay.
He's always got the numbers, that guy.
Where's he at?
I'm willing to bet that when
Oh.
Eric announced Rip Ascend, I always assumed it would be 35% or more.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Well, the thing.
I mean, like Malin, I think Malin, when I did some quick numbers and what Malin said, if the book hits 2 million, that Dillard would be getting a $300,000 check. That's pretty fucking close. When after tax, and that would be after taxes.
Like, listen, if this book came out a year ago, it would have been huge. Like, it would have been way bigger than it can be now.
Oh yes, yes.
Because the whole battle wasn't heated up. Like the Ethans versus the Rippas versus the Yellow Flashes. It's like the community was still kind of interested in like what Rippaverse was putting out there and blah,
Isn't
blah,
there
blah.
like a huge Power Rangers community though? I mean, maybe they'll come in and swoop in and
no, they'll beat the fuck out of it though.
They'll
man.
look at it like Temu. It'll be Temu Power Rangers to them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Temu Power Rangers. Hey,
what's
Chris
up, Mr.
Bacon's in
Bacon?
his
How you doing,
house.
sir?
Oh, not bad. Since y'all are talking about business and not solar flares, and shit, I thought I'd.
We already got through that.
listen, don't besmirch the solar flares. You're going to be happy one day, and you're going to be like, if it wasn't for Jim and telling me about the solar flares, I could have died.
I wouldn't have built this fucking.
I believe in all that too, man. Solar flares is dangerous.
They exist. It happens.
Yeah.
The
So how you
governments
doing,
are
buddy?
preparing for it. So I mean,
Are they or aren't they? They
yeah,
are.
they're preparing for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I heard you released your prediction today for
I did.
this current Horseman campaign.
I did indeed.
Is today the 6th day already?
Yes, sir.
And what was your number, Chris?
740.
7.
You think that's where it's going to top off or top out?
I do. This one took a little bit more time. That's why I didn't go into detail like I have previously. Because these collections have performed quite a bit differently than those campaigns did. So I had to really kind of dig in and put together statistics and look at things I previously had not looked into. But one thing I was able to do within a very just completely negligible margin of error was determine how many customers he's actually had, total purchasers, because he's not releasing those figures anymore. But I figured it out.
Yeah, what's he doing? Just total books sold?
Yeah, total books sold.
Well, isn't that going to be kind of confusing too, since he's also selling those Alpha Core books in this collection?
Well, not really, because he did the same thing with Yaira, Alpha Core. I mean, like had similar product assortments. So, and I'll say this: the main statistic that stood out from those previous campaigns, and even Gooding, was the fact that every single one of them, the number of books sold per customer when he was doing the total purchasers thing was like 1.6 something. Like every single one across the board, no matter the total customers, the total sales of the campaign, it was 1.6 something every single time.
Oh, like having 3.2 kids kind of thing. It's just
I mean, it was when I did the math on that and figured it out, I was like, holy shit. I mean, that is beyond consistent. And
I would have thought it would have been higher than 1.2 per customer.
I'll tell you.
1.6.
Yaira 1.63, Alpha Core 1.69, Gooding 1.68. I mean, that is insane as far as a statistical anomaly that could be the case. Again, no matter if he offered CGC books to what assortment or whatever the case may be, based on total books sold, because that's something I never differentiated between was regular copies versus CGC or whatever, but just total books sold, 1.66 average. And for those to all be some derivative of 1.6 something to the second decimal point, that's incredibly consistent. So
Now, where did he land for cost per book? Last time I looked, it was right around $61 per book sold.
okay, so I keep
per order, right? Not book.
so I
Well,
keep,
no, what like the number of
Per
books
order.
divided by the basically like how much
Sure.
money he was taking in per
Okay,
book sold.
so where I keep a running average, and I even posted a Dropbox to my spreadsheet, so anybody can download them if they want to. But it started like day one, $61.85. Now it's today, it was $57.93, but the running total was also the closest it's ever been. It started at 102.67 on a projected customer basis, and it's only down to 153. Like every other one that was a campaign had a pretty significant drop from day one to day two, about $10 or $12. It was significant. Gooding didn't have that drop. Like it was not very much. Like from day one, it was like 32.22 on a per book basis. By day 6, it was only 29.47. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong column. 29.63 on day 1. By day 6, it had only dropped to 28.47. So these collections have been much more consistent across the board for some reason. And I really can't.
Is it shorter days per campaign?
It really has nothing to do with that. It's just like the first 6 days. And this was trending very much the same way. Like, for example, the percentage to day 1 is a column I put together. And like for Gooding, when I averaged the 6 days, the drop off on average for the past 6 days was 11.63% of the day 1 total. The average for Horseman for the last 6 days on a 6-day run was 12.57% of day 1 total, which is significantly higher than what that was with Yaira or Alpha Core. So the Gooding campaign held up a lot better and wasn't nearly as top heavy as Yaira or Alpha Core. Like they were incredibly top heavy. Yaira was like 76% of total sales by the end of day 6. Alpha Core was 70. Gooding was like closer to 50. It was like 55%. It was very, very not well. Again, that's still pretty top heavy, all things considered, right? But not nearly as top heavy by like a considerable percentage amount. So when I did the Horseman stuff, I looking at all the figures against campaigns and these collections, I gave a lot more leeway to Horseman as far as where it is now compared to where I think it will be. And I calculated what the hell did I've got actual notes. I didn't actually put this into anything, but
right.
I'll pull up my actual notes. So Gooding was 59% of total sales after day 6. And as of today, because Horseman was doing a little bit better, and like that 1% I gave you between Gooding and Horseman was about 1.5% difference. I gave it an extra 2%. So I figured that as of today, Horseman is at 57% of its final total. So that's how I came up with my final figure.
Oh, okay. So you think it's already earned 57%?
Yeah, but that's considerably better than say Yaira was at 76% at the same time. Alpha Core was at 70. So the dollar figures are down. And one thing I thought that was interesting, because again, I put together a projected customer total. And like I said, it's very, very close. When I wrote this, it was I've got Horseman at 5148 customers. And how I figured that out is multiplying that times the 1 point, he's got total books sold 8491 when I did this. times
Well,
1.66.
wait, where are you seeing that on the website? I'm seeing 7851.
Oh, this is when I looked at it not too long ago. I had 84.91 when I looked.
I got. I mean,
and
I'm
this was
right.
about
Hold on. Look.
8:30.
Pull up share my screen. Oh, Dave's not here. Can't share my screen.
Dave's not home, man.
Do it.
Dave's
Do
not
it.
home,
Do a
man.
hard. Do a hard refresh. Control R on that page.
7851.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it right now. It's at 85.69, 519, 614.
Yeah, I got
So-
476, 852.
Yeah. So, and when I took that figure and multiplied it by 1.66 books, I came to 5115. And when I multiplied that times my projection of like $100, I'm within literally $12 of the total. So my margin of error for that customer count is, well, let's see, $21. So I think I've got a really good idea of what the actual customer count is, even though he's not posting it. So, I mean, that being said, again, this was a Chuck Dixon, Joe Bennett project, just like Alpha Core was. 5148 day 6 customers compared to 8,437 for Alpha Core, 8,424 for Yaira. That is not a significant or insignificant decrease. When you're comparing apples to apples for a, a campaign that was.
Why do we think it's having this issue where it's showing different numbers?
Oh no, I'm showing 7,850.
Yeah, what's the deal? That doesn't make sense.
For what? Updating the website?
Yeah, why he's seeing a different number than I'm seeing?
What happens
We're
on
on
the
the
same
same
website?
website.
East Coast and Central are always different on this website. Always. Happens all the time. Dave could probably pull it up
Well,
and know
no,
that West Coast numbers.
I'm Central and I'm showing 7,852.
Look at,
How many
I
you
share
showing?
my screen, Dave, so you can see what I'm looking at.
8569. Yeah.
All right, share my screen.
Yep.
What's the number that you
Share
guys
my,
all? Yes.
share mine. Mine's
7,
different than Jim's.
I'm the closest
one
to the
book.
warehouse, so that's probably why.
What do you have, Dave?
I have
He's got-
7,851.
Yeah. You got mine up right now. Let's
47 days left on this. I feel like it's like
Yeah, this is going
I
to
mean,
be
I
into
think
November.
But then what? There's a Bloodruth book to release, and then there's
Yellow Flash's
like, how,
book. There's
how is Ripasend releases going to work? Like he's going to have to release books at the same time, right? Or like this
I mean,
is
really,
he's gonna wait. He's gonna wait till the very last, unless he's forced to do it. I don't believe that Yellow Flash's book's coming out till close to Christmas.
I mean, how long is it going to take him to fulfill a fucking campaign, though? A week?
That's going to depend on what the product assortment is and a bunch of different things.
He's got a full warehouse staff.
Eric has the best warehouse.
Yeah, I mean, look
Yes.
at Brandon.
We know
is in
he's
charge
got a
of the
good warehouse.
Yes, the warehouse manager. He's on top of it. He's going to be moving boxes, stacking stuff, packing them.
I heard Kanan White does that too. When he's not art directing and redrawing Yaira comics, he gets to lift boxes in the back too. That's what I've heard.
Chris, is your total right now on your webpage over 500K?
Yeah. 517, 487.
What?
It's
Well, at
amazing.
least it
I'm at
was
4
again like at 830.
I'm at 476.
Yeah.
I'm half tempted to fire up the VPN and start seeing how many weird totals we can get.
It doesn't, but see, that doesn't make any sense because the number should be coming from his server. he's running his own server and his own website. It's not like it's clouded out to like Amazon Cloud Service where you could be getting
He uses
different numbers.
now his website's third party, Jim. It's a third party website. He's paying somebody to run that fucking website. Are you out of your mind?
That's
Are
an
you sure?
expensive website.
Yes, we looked it up.
Yes. Let's go to the scroll at the
Yes.
bottom of the page. It's
Hey,
Upcode.
Like, yeah,
Scroll
you're
to the
paying
bottom.
someone to keep this shit up.
Yep, it ain't Eric.
Yeah, why would you? There's no reason for it to be in house.
Yeah, no. You wouldn't. Yeah, you would never have it in house. Same thing with the animation. Like, you
Bottom
would never
right.
have your own
Oh, I
in-house
see.
animation.
Upcode, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
What is like ISOM doing there? Taking a big shit? Is that a big shit?
Yes.
He's got a third eye.
Absolutely.
He's like,
He's
"Oh,
catching street.
fuck!
He's
Oh shit!
catching,
Oh,
He's
catching
a
street,
third eye
if you know what I
nowadays.
mean.
But let me
What
ask
a
you guys
hero.
something. Eric is on the record saying that there is no pie. So why would he have any reservation about releasing anything from Ripasend against any of his books if there is no pie? So everybody should just
Exactly.
be-
It's not. Yeah.
if
there's
that's
no
the
what?
case,
Sorry.
Eric is on the record multiple times saying like everybody thinks that there's some sort of a pie and everybody can only get a certain amount of money. From
Oh, right.
Did he release?
That's-
Does anyone know? Did he release the numbers for his print? What he's printing of A, B, and C since they're limited edition and will not be reprinted?
Well, even with the other, like when Yaira came out, and
500,000
Even
of
Goody,
each.
he didn't release those figures for a few weeks until he has a better sense of what he's going to actually need.
I mean, he should know. I
They'd
mean,
be
he should have it
better
pretty
off
well figured
to,
out now.
They'd be better off to release Blood Ruth and Yellow Flash's book in a package together. I think, because I think that if they have
Because
to
then he can
run
double count those
campaigns-
sales.
Well, it's just I think you're just going to generate more interest. I just think if they're running campaigns
But he
against each other,
he could
like,
run.
there's-
He could run. He could if he did that. He could count everybody that bought both in both campaigns and make it look like he has twice as many customers.
that's right. But like when he starts running campaigns against each other, like if he's got to run his books come out, like I mean, he seems to want to go to a schedule every month, and then he wants
know, I don't-
Ripasend to be something as well. He's going to have to be running multiple campaigns.
But I don't think it's a
Eventually-
problem.
Please also.
Okay, and I'm gonna explain why.
I got to tell you, hold on, Jim. I got to say this. If he wants to do that, Dave, he needs to bring people in that aren't part of the fellowship already, that are from outside the fellowship, that just want to have a place to sell or have their books shipped and sold, so that it's just a different.
Well, he
audience
he
buying
needs to
books
bring
from
in
that
people
website.
who like have different audiences as well. Right?
Exactly.
Like
Right.
he needs to, but like I mean, I think Yellow Flash his audiences are almost interchangeable. So the thing is,
Same
is
with
like
Jay.
if you're putting out Yellow Flash's book and your book at the same time, there will be a competition factor. Whereas, let's say you're releasing the next ISOM, but you're also releasing Gary Nerdrotic's book that he's writing. If he does end up using Ripasend, there'd probably be less competition because, like, people generally, you know, are fans of novels and they're fans of comics, and then they'll be more interested in what Nerdrotic has to say than what he does. But like, I mean, if you're trying to sell to the same audience, this whole Ripasend thing is kind of weird, man.
I see the biggest drawback to that with the price point of these books. Again, if you were doing this for books that were like $5 or roundabout and not 20, 30 something bucks, or having product availability that's running into the hundreds of dollars, then it's not an issue. But again, it'll be interesting to see what his actions are as far as, does he really believe that there is no pie, that there is an infinite amount of money out there for people to spend on books if they like them enough. I mean,
I think that's the case when comics are cheaper. Like, so when you go into the comic shop and they're like $5 each, you're like, okay, I'll buy 4. But when they start going up to 10, it's like there is a pie and you have to make hard decisions, man. and these books are expensive. Like,
Well,
I've-
$50
I've-
is expensive for a book. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too is because I live in Canada, like to get them shipped here is like I could almost most of the time I pay more for the shipping, and because my dollar is worse than yours, if you're paying like $50 for a book, I'm paying 62 for it. And I mean, and then the shipping on top of that, I could be spending like $90 to get one of these books. That's like 48 pages. It's just not how I consume comics. It's not worth it to me. Like these could be great, but it's like I don't want to pay these premium prices for like Horseman, and I could just reread a trade of Punisher and Batman. Like,
Does Chris? Are you aware? Or is there anyone?
There's
that
not
has
a
the num-
there may not be a pie
Let
of
Jim
customers.
finish on Cap. Let Jim finish. Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
That's fine. Just,
I want to hear what you have to say. You've been trying for 5 minutes.
Well, like what? I have 2 points. First one is that we don't know what type of international sales Eric has to begin with. Like you touted about how he's got special deals to go to England and France and Canada now for shipping and stuff, but is it really a big portion of his business?
I would doubt it.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's probably what 10% is international.
Maybe.
And then, I don't think it's a problem really for him to be selling multiple books at the same time. And here's why. It's going on right now. All over CG. You've got John Malin's book launch, and you've got Shane Davis' book was just a couple weeks, going. Ethan's got multiple campaigns going. It's not that big of a deal,
but the numbers on these campaigns are less than they were years ago.
Correct.
Aren't
The
they?
market's softened.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's a problem at all, Jim. The only thing I would say is we know for a fact. I think at this point it's not even speculation; it's fact. People in this particular space. I'm not talking about the people who go to comic shops particularly, but I'm talking about the YouTube space of these people who do this. These people are buying the person. They're not buying the product. I think that's very well established by now. And if people like Yellow Flash or whoever the hell, Drunk 3PO or Eric July, if they're running books concurrently, I don't see why people wouldn't buy them because they want to support that person. They don't necessarily give two shits about the book.
Yeah.
Would
you guys? Oh, sorry.
Before we move 6 miles away from what I was trying to bring up, there may not be a pie of customers, but there's a pie of number of hours that streamers can advertise the book.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
A good point.
Remember when Eric was talking about special deals he had in certain countries like Canada and England and Australia for his books, and it was speculated that he was going to have them printed in country?
I don't know. Like, I mean, he would have to. I think he would be having to move a lot of units in those places for that to be worth it.
Because he was saying it was like a special deal, but they were only going to be done once a month.
Yeah, maybe.
So like he was going to collect basically like these, so he'd have all the orders together, and then he would order, say, like 100 books printed.
This
like
guy, he's not afraid to outsource work, man. Like,
well, that's what I'm
he's
saying.
definitely not. He's definitely not an America First kind of guy. Like,
what I'm saying, you might for your own and for our entertainment, Dave, you might want to go to his website and just go through the steps of ordering and see if it says something like, if you wait until this day, it'll cost this much instead of wanting it right away.
You think that there's a,
if he's having them printed, because it's something that he mentioned a while ago. So, because if he's having books printed, well, it wouldn't be now because the campaign is going to be all done at the same time. It would have to be after because he said it would be after the campaigns or collections are over. They would have where it would be like if you would wait for a bulk shipment is what he was calling it, but we speculated that that's more than likely almost like a drop ship scenario where he was going to have them printed, because he doesn't care about first printing, second printing, third printing, anything like that. He doesn't pay attention to that. He's already made that very clear.
Yeah, like he's kind of not super appropriate with that too, right? Like,
right,
wasn't
it's
there
not
like
at all. Right, but that would make sense.
Then
that way he could get away with saying, "Well, I don't keep track of that. So what difference does it make if these are printed in England, if these are printed in Australia, if these are printed in Canada?"
Yeah, that's why these are will never
it's all
have
the
real
same, Dave.
collectability. Yeah,
Right.
these. I mean, here's the thing. Like, these are just so in the moment. Like, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that there aren't going to be Rippaverse comics in 20 years from now.
Well, there's going to be a
And,
bunch
like-
of them in people's CGC cases in their
Well,
houses.
this is like the 90s, right? Like, this is the image boom. This, like, all these books are going to be like essentially if there's comic shops in the future, they'll be in dollar bins, maybe.
You remember the certificate of authenticity boom of the 90s? Where
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
companies doing them, and
Mhm.
you know, I mean, that burned a lot of people.
Oh,
It's like,
for
these are
sure.
limited. You know, this is limited. There's only 750 of these. It's like, oh, okay, numbered, limited, 750, and then wait, there's another company doing limited, just same exact thing, but limited to 1,000, and this guy's got limited to 1,500. It's like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
going on? They're all the same. It's just a different name on the certificate.
The baseball card fiascos. Yeah, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
But this is such small potatoes, man. Like, you know, it's I don't even know if this is barely a blip in comics history. Like, if we're reading a book about comics in 30 years from now, assuming I'm alive, like, is Rippaverse even in there? Like, does it take up a paragraph?
unless, well, he did raise 3.7 million. That's a lot of money.
That's yeah. I mean, that's big. And the thing is like there
He
should
sold
be a
as many
great
books
story
as a
too.
typical Batman run for 1 month.
Yeah, I mean that was big. I'll give him that. I'll always give him
he won an award.
No, I'm.
that. He
What
gave
I'm
himself
saying
an
is, no, there's not even a paragraph. He sold as many books as Batman does in 1 month, and
Yeah.
rode that for 3 years.
right.
No, I mean, like, it would go. I think it would go down as like same way like the Pet Rock did, or any type of,
Yeah.
phenomenon, Teletubby
It-
boom or something like that.
Well, let's
I
let's
mean,
be honest. The people that would buy a book about about comic history care about comics and know about the industry and stuff, and so they wouldn't care about this. No.
The ironic thing about these books is that I don't know. I still don't know why he hasn't approached more retailers, and if he has, correct me if I'm wrong. Because when I look at these books, when I look at Horseman and Good Ying, I feel like if those ended up trickling into retail shops, people would actually buy those because
Yeah,
they
but not
know
at-
Chuck Dixon, they know Mike Barron.
Not at that price point, though.
Not at the price point, no.
Well, yeah, the price point is odd for like what are like so the price point for Horseman is
25.
25
One,
to
one book
50.
is 25. One book is 25. Two are 35.
And they're going to be
one-
competing with books that are $5 sitting next to them.
well, and that's the other thing. How many pages is this too? Did they say how many pages it is?
It might say here.
$25.
I'm going to say
Say
90.
Doesn't say on the log line.
Yeah, it's weird that
The
they
log
that's
the
hidden.
log line that's 5 miles long. It was called a log line for a
well, I'll say
reason,
this:
people.
like, as far as retail space, when he did ISOM 1, he released some of those to some comic shops because that was one of the ways that I kind of got pissed off at it, because there were ISOM 1 cover A and B copies that shouldn't have been fucking available. But he sent them to comic shops and they sold out because, again, people saw, oh shit, these are cover A's and B's that shouldn't be available, but they're
Okay.
magically in these comic shops. And these people
Super-
were selling out of these things.
Super T
The
says
books
it's
that he
over 80
sold.
pages.
Over 80 pages. Okay, so it would be competing with the book that's $12.95 next to it.
These are inflated. Like, I mean, that's the other thing about this stuff is like these are inflated comics, and I'm gonna tell you, like half
Well,
the
if you-
time, like
I'm sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, like this is why I don't really invest in a lot of these crowdfunder stuff, even though I'd love to be a part of it and I'd love to support it. It's just that the prices are so out of whack to me. Like, I mean, I can get floppies cheaper. Trades that come into my comic shop are usually cheaper than this, and trades usually have more pages in them, so there's more story. These are all kind of like that under 80, and it's weird. It's like just I don't know. It's not the format that I like. It's not of a good value to me.
Yeah,
Well,
if he
again,
was
I
able
think-
to get these into a store, and not sell them direct to customers, you know,
Yeah.
and have his warehouse with his people, he could probably get the price down to around $12.
Oh yeah.
Well, again, he
yeah.
says
Because he
his-
doesn't have enough,
his
you know what I mean? He
printing
wouldn't even,
cost was
yeah, just
when
printing.
he first advertised it was $250.
Right. So, you know, that's
getting
basically
these
what it would
things
cost.
on the cheap is not the issue. But I'll say this too, because John Malin, when y'all were watching him, he was saying some things, and like what Dave just said, I think the biggest disconnect is, again, Eric July is basically, for lack of a better term, a YouTube influencer. And if you are looking at the spaces of people who are influencers who are selling commercial product, whether it's a t-shirt or whatever the hell it is, it's more expensive than what you can get mainstream for whatever it may be. Like, for example, my wife follows these Instagram influencers. One of them sells seasonal pajamas. They're retarded expensive. Can you get the same quality of pajamas at the Target for a fifth of the price? Absolutely. But again, people are supporting these personas. They're supporting these personalities that they like and are really invested in. And that's why he hasn't had any issues selling to a certain demographic of people, regardless of the price. I mean, for example, Goodjing was $21.
Well, there was one that
Horseman
was
is
18.
20. Well, why do I have 21 on here?
There was
Well, cover D
cheapest
was
one
18.
was
I'm talking,
18.
okay, cover A was 21, B was 21, C was 35, D was 18. Okay. Horseman is 29, 29, 50, 25. So why the price increase? And $8 is a sizable percentage for an increase.
On a $2.50 print run.
Right.
Yeah.
On a
He's
even
paying Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett a lot more.
Well, yeah,
than he
they own
pays
it.
Any of his no, but even like whatever their deals that they've made, like there's a bigger piece of the pie going to them because they're kind of credible stars. Like I think that they're really I think they're the talent, right?
Well, again, I would say my rebuttal to that, especially if I was Eric July, is you may be the talent, but if you were moving this shit yourself, you wouldn't fucking need me.
No, but he's
And-
those two are the guys giving Rippaverse any credibility. Like his writing doesn't, the Soskas don't. Like at least Chuck Dixon, like you can say like this is going to be a competent book. Goodjing, like Jim said, is
Baron book,
good,
yeah.
right? So is a Baron book. Like I think that he's going to be. I think that's probably why the price goes up because he's trying to save his company in a sense.
Well, I mean that may be true, but I still think like within this YouTuber, run space, Eric is the draw. And whether Horseman was written by himself and NDA Andrew and edited by whoever the fuck over there and drawn by whoever the fuck, I still don't think that the number would be much less than, the Mike projected customer count of like 5150 at this point in time.
Yeah, that's
Why
a
do
good
you?
point.
Why do you
Because
guys
again,
think?
if all things being equal, Joe Bennett and Chuck Dixon wrote Alpha Core. He's thousands of customers below that right now at the same point in time.
Yeah, it's a great
Thousands.
point. Sorry.
So
you're right.
And again, it's totally Eric July driven. And I mean, I'll ride or die with that position. Those guys are, talented for, what they bring to the table. But again, all things being equal, if it was about those two, they would be trending closer to Alpha Core and not riding on whatever, actions Eric July makes or whatever statements that he makes or whatever the hell he happens to be doing at the time or whatever, his legion of fans are screaming about on Twitter at the time or making YouTube videos and alienating.
Well, this is why Ethan does Trashcast, right? Like I think Trashcast is directly responsible for the drop in sales of these Rippaverse books.
No,
Because
sure.
I'd say that he's a huge part of it because these people would be inclined to be Ethan fans or probably Chuck Dixon fans, and then they start to get split up and they get into these camps, right? So they're like someone who was inclined. Like I'll tell you something.
The drop was when people actually started reading his books.
Well, yeah, maybe, but the thing is like that would account for a drop. Comics always drop. But this is pretty significant. What Chris is saying.
The drop
about
was
this-
the drop
from this-
happened. The drop happened when people got challenged to tell what's your favorite part of the book, and
That
speculators
was well before
cracked
Trash
open
got-
those
Yeah.
cracked open those books that they never read.
Started reading them and went, "What the fuck?"
Well, again, I really, that's where I'm going to differ with you guys, because I think y'all are thinking about it as industry people, and I just think there's too much evidence within these numbers to suggest that, again, it has nothing to do with the book or the book quality. I think that has so little to do with it.
Right.
I agree. I agree
You're
with
right.
you. That's what I'm saying. But he lost. It's a niche market, and he burned half of his audience.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that goes way back. That goes back to the time between the ISOM 2 and the Alpha Core, when it, again, that was with
Right.
the Dick thing, the Ricada thing, the ISOM ministry thing, and
But
down
I
on
think
that over time.
there's a significant number of people who were still, I'm going to buy the book. Chuck Dixon and them wrote it, and then they read what we were getting from them that had not read
Right.
it because they didn't care to read it.
Right.
Well, yeah,
I know. I personally know people who bought them and then said I was blown away at how crappy it was. I didn't want to even open it. Be honest. There's a significant amount of comic collectors that buy trading cards that in the shape of a comic book, and they never come out of the poly bag.
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely something to be said for that. I mean, I'm certain that there's a group of people out there who are like, okay, I bought Alpha Core. It's the same team, right? And I didn't like it for whatever reason.
Right.
And they're like, I'm not going to go back to the well with Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett doing a comic put out by Eric July, because I just don't have confidence that this product is going to be worth a damn, in my opinion. And that,
But that
probably has.
doesn't that make them comic book guys though, Chris? Because they're making that choice based on
so
reading
the difference
something.
right now is basically 3,300. I'm assuming difference between Horseman and Alpha Core at the same time, and I'm sure some of those people who are in between that gap are those guys. That's 100% reasonable to conclude.
What was the difference between ISOM 1 and 2 as far as customers?
I'd have to pull it up, but it was
Quite a bit though, right?
Yeah, it
Why-
was.
Well,
And
did
another
someone
thing,
sell
too,
like 67,000?
It was a
I'm
lot.
just saying,
I'd have to look.
customers wise. Yeah.
But at the same time, one of the things, and people have pointed out numerous times, is outside of ISOM 2 in over 2 years, he has only put out one number 2 issue. And people all the time are like, well, the first issues, the second issues always sell less. But why the drop off if you're just continually releasing issue 1 after issue 1 after issue 1 after issue 1?
That's a pretty good point.
Because
I mean,
again,
it happens.
They're not happy in large numbers with the person who's putting it out. And maybe to Eric's credit, and I'll give credit where credit is due, he is trying to stay out of it as much as he probably reasonably can. He'll come back around every now and again, but all things considered, especially within the last 6 months, you don't see him talking near as much as he used to. And maybe, I don't know what he's doing with Az. I just see, like, if Katie clips it or something like that. But if he's doing a lot less, be like, I've got to do whatever. If I can't repair my image, I can be out of sight, out of mind. And hopefully my company can stand on its own.
I get that feeling from him and Az that they're trying to be low key right now. Like, they are not as bombastic as they were about 2 months ago. I don't know if any of you've noticed that, but they are like, there aren't big videos coming out of them. They're not yelling, screaming pronouns. Like, they are staying low key.
Give a shit.
What? All right, let's watch some
350,000 guys. Holy shit. Hold on. Let me look at some of these. We got Alec Campbell says 400,000. So 400,000 with 500,000 subscribers, guys. Like, again, it's like a numbers game. It's a numbers game. So, want to be 5% of 500,000 subscribers is 25,000. Okay, guys, 25,000 backers potentially. 25,000 backers. 5% of your subscribers. If only 5% of your subscribers backed, that's 25,000 backers. Let me just take that down to. Let's take that down to. I don't know. If we took that down to 20, let's say 20,000. 20,000 people decided to buy a book, or maybe it's less than that, but they're backing twice. It's a number one, whatever the case may be. But let's say your total backers is $20,000. If you go 20, you guys can do this at home too. 20,000 times 25. The average price of a comic is $500,000. That's not counting the shipping amount. I don't know what their shipping amounts are. Let's say 20,000 people back.
With some actual numbers here, Dave. Back in the day when Eric had about 505,000 when ISOM released, he converted 8.5% into total purchasers for ISOM 1. And this is, again, Eric had a much more rabid platform, a much more big or a larger, bigger lead in, national media, all of these things that drove this. And again, this is just based on his subscriber count. I'm sure people who aren't his subs were buying, etc. But 8.5% conversion. And again, he got a lot of people who were outside of this YouTube comic space to buy into his book. I think that's irrefutable.
I'd say most,
yeah, I think it's irrefutable based on how these numbers moved after his like Fox appearance, for example. It went up significantly.
Yeah, wasn't he only at like 2-point-something million when he went on Fox, and then it jumped over 3 million?
Okay, day 4, because I tracked this shit back in the day. On day 4, he went on Fox News. He was at 1.6 million. By the end of day 7, he was at 2.55. So significant jump in that amount of time after those appearances. So he had.
I bet you he wishes he could get on those appearances.
Yeah. So
was that those
campaign?
Was that those white moms buying toys or books for their kids because they saw him on Fox Daily or
Who
something?
the hell knows? But like he was on at the end of day 2, he went on The Blaze, even though he's a contributor, but he went on there to talk about his book. By the end of day 4, a $400,000 bump. So he had all kinds of momentum to even convert 8.5% of his sub count. So I think it would be very, very difficult to say, unless, I mean, I don't know anything about Yellow Flash, but I'm just saying this because I have the numbers in front of me. He would have to have a rabid fan base to come anywhere close to converting that number of customers.
Doesn't
At
he
5%,
also?
I think that is wishful thinking at its finest. So,
Doesn't Yellow Flash also have like? I mean, like, does he have tie-ins in the anime community?
I don't know, but I
he's
I don't watch him.
Even if he does, anime won't be too into this style of book. But would you guys buy a book from someone who you don't know who they are?
Nope.
Do it all the time.
No, but I mean, you don't know their name.
Well, again,
right?
I think that's important. Like, for example, there's plenty of people like you read in school who you don't know who the fuck they are. There's plenty of
Stan Lee was the face of Marvel for fucking 50 years, 60 years.
Right.
I mean, that's
But
who everyone's
again, I
buying it from.
think when you're looking at a completely different space that's YouTube personality driven, that these people are attracted to, there might be a lot of people who are like, yeah, I don't know anything about this guy other than his videos and this a faceless guy. I don't really want to. I have no vested interest in supporting somebody who I really don't know. And again, I don't watch the guy, so I don't know how rabid his fan base is and how much they really support this guy.
Yeah, because he's not the kind of like he really just does complain about he really just gloms on to whatever the most recent talking point is. The Acolyte was bad. It had lesbians in it. They sang a song. Like and then he's
the Barbie movie sucks. The Barbie movie sucks. Yeah.
Like I could see listening to him every day because he you've just found him, and he's the source for your news, your entertainment news now, because we don't read newspapers anymore. We don't do this or that. So you just found Yellow Flash and you listen to him. But I can't imagine at this point being like, oh my God, I really want to support him. Back in the day when I was talking about earlier, when he was more of a weird kind of sideshow where he would stab at the comics that he didn't like and he would rip them apart, he was a bit more charming than I found, and I would have been way more likely to support. I tried to work with him, but he said he wasn't a comic book writer. I guess
But
that
he's
changed.
but he's all. I mean, like again, you'll have to tell me he's not kind of a recognized voice of a social movement at any particular time, is he? Or like right now, is he?
No, I don't think so at
outspoken
all. Like
voice of any type of social movement.
I wouldn't even call him an influencer the way that Eric is. Like Eric, he's an influencer. He has that swagger that compels people to listen to him. They think he's hot shit, and then so they invest in him. I don't see Yellow Flash having that same relationship anymore with his audience because he's become so run of the mill. To me, he's as boring as I don't know.
Well, let me ask you,
Toast.
like,
It's kind of like yellow. It's kind of like toast.
like on a
He
stream.
better take
if
a
he's
lesson
just
out of
doing any of
Ethan's
it-
book, though, and stream 5 nights a week and do, a 5-hour stream and talk about his book in at least an hour and a half out of the 5 hours to promote that fucking book. He's got to do it, dude.
Does Yellow
gotta get
Flash
people
does he
watching.
stream by himself, or does he
Nope.
only do panels?
Only panels.
Okay. And when he does panels, like what's his like high end concurrent viewer count at any given
It
time?
used to be like 4,000 or 4,500, but then Ethan started Trashcast, and Ethan beats him usually by about 300 or 400 people a night, 2,200 to 2,100 or something like that.
Uh-huh. Well, that's not
So he's
bad.
got
I
the
mean,
audience. He's just got to
like
sell
Eric,
it
Eric
every
at his
night.
peak was like 2,500 concurrent viewers,
Mhm.
right? So, and again, I think a lot of people, again, myself included, bought that book to support the person. And I don't know if Yellow Flash has that kind of group where they're like, I just want to support Yellow Flash. Or does Dillard have
Well,
people,
here's
I
the-
just want to support Dillard. I don't give a shit what this book actually comes out to be.
Hey guys, I got to drop out.
Yeah,
but,
I'm falling.
I'll be
asleep
listening.
Are you?
No, that's not why I'm dropping out, but I'm just saying I've got to drop. So I'll
right,
talk
buddy.
to you guys later on. See ya.
Thanks for popping in.
I mean, Yellow Flash. I mean,
His numbers
some
are-
of his videos get some pretty big numbers. Like, I mean, he had a video 7 days ago that had 133,000 views. That's pretty good.
Talking about what?
Sony Bloodbath.
Yeah,
It's
boy.
the gamers react to PlayStation 5 Pro, and it's not good.
He's gonna have to
Mm.
start cutting ads into those videos of his comic book.
Oh, that's true. He is going to have to start doing that.
You know, I
And
mean, he
he's
should
gonna have
already
to
be
place-
doing that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Just
That, like,
little 30-second
it's-
ads in there or something in the middle of his. Something.
That's
Yeah,
why
his
I
own
don't
ad.
think.
Yeah.
That's why I just don't get the sense that he's like a really clever guy, like giving up so much ownership of a property that if he created, and he just had someone draw it, then and design it. Like, I mean, that's crazy. The fact that he isn't all about this all the time, like, you really got to get people hyped up. Because people could just be passively watching Yellow Flash. I think that's what a lot of people do. I think with Eric July, they don't passively watch him, and I think that's a huge difference, especially when you're selling yourself.
It simply says Dillard's been playing the trailer on streams. The problem is his streams don't have 2,000 people watching.
No,
Well,
like
that's-
if Yellow Flash is putting out some videos like these that he put, basically his quartering clone videos, and he's getting 100,000 or 200,000 views, it needs to have an ad in the middle of the fucking thing.
Why do you think that he doesn't reveal who he is? I mean, at this point, why does anybody not reveal who they are?
Well, there's reasons.
Yeah.
Generally, they're not good, but there's reasons.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
You think?
I don't know if he's. I don't
like this.
This maybe he has some takes that people don't like, and he's gonna, you know, they're gonna do things. You know, I don't know. You know, like the SJW.
No, it's just like
photograph
I
and
think
all
to
that.
myself, like if you have to hide what you say, you know, then how much do you really believe in it? I look at it like that. Like I look at it like half the shit he's talking about he doesn't care about because this isn't where his channel started.
Me
He
too, Mike
moved to
Partika.
this.
Me too.
What's that?
Mike Partika said, "I've had pictures of my house sent to me. It's not a fun feeling." Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. So I get that. Yeah, no, I get that. But at the same time, it's kind of like I find people disingenuous when I don't know who they are and they're
Yeah, no, I
constantly
know. No, but I'm just saying, you know, like, I mean, luckily I live in Florida. And if someone wants to come to my house, they better be prepared.
Yeah. you can take care of it there, right? In a lot of places, a different story.
But another thing too, like when people are projecting the numbers, I think it's what's really difficult is, and if anything, if Eric could offer them anything, he's going to be like, look, dude, if I just sold books, you can look at my Gooding collection and see what happens if you're just selling books. You got to have merch and you got to have a shit ton of it. Because most of his stuff is close to 60-40 split books versus merch. And again, that doesn't include the CGC stuff. I include that in the, it's probably closer to 55-45, maybe even 50-50. And if he's not coming out with CGC or a bunch of merch that somebody's going to buy, then he would be doing very well to get to 400,000 gross.
I mean, actually, Yellow Flash, holy fuck, he could really capitalize too. Like, I don't know if you're listening, Yellow Flash, you could go to like Temu or one of those places, get knockoff Power Rangers, and just have them relabeled as.
Patrick Parnell.
Yeah, like PTP. Have some
Yeah,
knockoffs
PTP.
done, and just here we've got custom, you know, Golden Patriot action figures. You know, join the team, and you know, and
I don't know.
you
And
know,
I think if Eric July was savvy, if he was saying like, hey, because the merch is what moves this shit, what I'm going to do is I've got all these connects. That's where I think it would be appropriate for him to take a percentage. Like if he was doing merch and helping these people get it, put it together, and he's like, look, I'm going to take a percentage of the merch. I'm not going to take a percentage of your books. That's shit we're going to print. Everybody knows those costs, but I'm going to help you get your merch together, and I'm taking whatever the hell he can negotiate on that. And that would
Like, obviously, do you think that he'll do this like a collection, like a Ripperverse collection? Like, it'll have shirts, it'll have whatever else, pins,
CGC books.
CGC books, and like, you think it'll have
Better.
all of that?
He better.
I mean, that's where the money is. It's especially with
Yeah.
his campaigns, because again, all you have to do is look at Gooding to see what your numbers would look like if you're just selling regular books, a poster, and a T-shirt. It's nothing impressive. It's nothing really to write home about, especially in comparison to other things that he had done.
Yeah, Dave, I've got merch, but no books. So
Yeah. Do you think during the course of this campaign we get a face reveal? Do you think at some point that there'll be an Eric July special interview on a Ripperverse channel, and we're going to see who he is? We're going to see Yellow Flash.
Why? I mean, if his audience doesn't care now, why? I mean,
I don't know. I'm just fucking thinking like it could be just a shtick to try to sell this thing.
well, there was that.
I guess it could,
There's
but I just
something
don't know
like
who.
on Reddit where he was at like some con and like he had one of those like COVID masks on, but you can kind of get an idea of what he looks like. And I mean, if people want
yeah,
to
well,
know,
he went to Anime Matsuri, I think.
yeah, that's where they took those pictures. I mean, there's a couple of them from that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how you drum up interest.
Oh my
in
God!
this
Maybe
book.
Stimulated Cynic says that you're Yellow Flash, old man Dave. That's why we've never seen the two of you together in the same stream.
Well, I didn't want to announce it here on BTM Reviews, but I
But you
am
have one-
Yellow Flash. I am.
Dude, you have way too much personality to be Yellow Flash.
Nah, I'm a bitch. I'm a little bitch. No, I just find it like endlessly fascinating because the thing is I'll tell you something like that Dillard guy, like he's a good artist. I won't trash artists. I'll try not to anyway. But like his style, I don't know, man. Like it doesn't really like it. I don't love it. I'm hoping that it all comes together. But from what I've seen, like if I'm compelled to buy a book for art, it's not really for Dillard's art. I'm sorry.
Buying
Like, I'd
Cyber
rather-
Frog, Inglorious Rex.
Yeah, I'd buy some from mail-in, or I'd buy like, I mean, I'm even like, I don't know, like maybe I'm not a detractor anymore because I keep looking at Horseman and thinking like, I kind of want to look at it. Like, am I gonna buy an Eric July book? Like, what does it get to that point?
I almost did.
Am
I had it in my cart. I was going to buy it, and
I've
I
done
talked
that.
myself out of it.
Dude, I've done that too. I've been like, okay, I get freaked out. See, this is what I get freaked out when they ask me to put my credit card number in there. I'm like, I don't trust this operation.
Here's the other weird thing
I
too.
don't
Think
trust
about
this
this too,
operation.
guys. We've talked about this before, but when you sell with Eric July, Eric July gets all of your customers' information.
Yes. Well, that's another way to make money, right?
Yep, he's going to market to
Yeah,
all
he's got to
those
send them.
people.
He's got to
going
keep
forward.
sending those people, Ripiverse advertisements. For
Yeah.
his other books. So, but
Yep.
I mean, I don't think there's that. I don't think there's very much. There's a shitload of overlap. You know what I mean? He's not going to be.
I
paying,
agree. I agree.
You know,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Play the trailer, Jim.
Lieutenant Rogers, this is a time-sensitive critical mission. You must
well, at least they didn't call him Captain Rogers.
Exactly.
see the Nazi force and secure the artifact, then get to the extraction point before they
Oh,
arrive.
did they call him Rogers? Captain Rogers?
Failure to do so will result in being hopelessly outnumbered.
Yeah, see, it's Yellow Flash, Literature Devil, then Dillard.
Who's Literature?
Hopelessly outnumbered.
The writer.
Nazi commanders and what? It's time we take the fight.
The clues we have of the Allied invasion of northwestern France is still in that written from the associated
Totally decide.
Dann fliegt mir die Zeit von ihm.
Along the whole North African coastline, the Allies can strike simultaneously.
You know,
how many helmets does he have?
Looks like a few.
Yeah, and
Good
who's the
Lord.
black and white guy with the wings? Is that a different Power Ranger?
I think it's a different. There's the black. Okay, so there's black and gold Power Ranger here.
This one.
And then there's this guy. Oh my God, there's some gross art in there. Ah, look at the drawings on his chest. It looks terrible.
That's not the same guy,
Ah.
right? That's a different guy.
This is a different artist or what? This
No,
is
different,
Dillard, I
uh,
think.
No,
Oh.
different character, right, Jim?
Maybe
I was
this
gonna
is
say,
his
it's gotta be a
other
different
one.
character, right?
Oh, look at that castle. It just looks like something I drew in a homework assignment one time.
Yeah, it's got to be a different character.
And then this animation just comes out of nowhere. It's not even in the same style, and it's like, what? Why this animation? Just show me what's inside the book, and then tell me what the story is. Like I get it with Horseman. Like, I mean, although I don't really get it, I don't get why he pumps this animation out at the same time as the book. I find it's confusing because the look of the book is different than the animation, right? It's just weird. But with this, it just does not work.
This has got to be from the book, I would say, right?
This is from the book. Like, so all these, like all those lines and like all this like cross hatching. It just doesn't look, I don't know. The characters look like, he looks like he loves drawing characters, but everything else just kind of. And then this the cover is actually quite amazing, right? Who did this? Was this Kelsey Shannon, or was this? I can't remember who did this cover. But this cover is big and bombastic. Like, if the book looked like this, I'd buy that. Like, I mean, this looks big and bold. And I know you draw crazy covers to try to attract sales. It's like a movie poster, but why not just go full out like this, man? That's why none of these guys are doing it really for passion, man. It's all a grift. It's like, oh, we're a YouTube guy. How can I make money? Well, Eric July told me if I make comics, I can make money. Okay, I'll make the comic.
I thought Yellow Flash was talking about doing this comic for like 4 years now.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe. But like, I mean, I just don't see like any of like it just. I don't assume that they have heart when they do it, because their criticism and their commentary on life is so dark and dour that, like, how do these people find love for anything? Like, does this bringing him joy? Like, I don't know, man. I can't separate his personality from, like, I can't even give this book a chance because I just think he's fucking Drek. Like, he's the fucking toilet of YouTube. Like, he doesn't offer anything of substance to anybody.
Just remember, Dave, they hate you.
Yeah, I know. They've all blocked me and they've all muted me.
No,
like,
that's like his thumbnail all the time.
Yeah.
They hate you.
Exactly. So he's just part of this whole team to train men to become victims, right? It's all victim culture that they're spreading. It's like, ooh, Hollywood's out to get you. Video games don't want you. They're out to get you.
But I'll say this, kind
way,
of like in that vein that you're just talking about, Dave. Like when Eric released ISOM, obviously he had been making videos about wokeness, culture, all of these things, and in his videos and his streams was very passionate about those things. And whether you believed him or not at that time or even now, like when he was complaining about Marvel Comics, I mean, as an outside observer, you were looking at him like, at least you think he believes what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
And that really, pushed, him into getting that success.
That's why I bought it, Chris. That's why I bought it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean there's a lot to be said about that. And again, that's why.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
are buying the personas and not the art. And that's something it looks like Eric July has completely lost. That. Because again, he had some sort of a platform that, people, whether he would say now or back in the day, well, it's not a woke company. It's not about that. Well, that was the perception, whether he wants to believe that or not. That was 100% the perception. And that's what catapulted that campaign. And with these YouTube folks, in the absence of that kind of a platform or lack of a persona, I gotta imagine it's an uphill battle. I look at these as like WWE promos, right? Why are the people who are WWE like the most successful people? Is it because of their ability to be a professional wrestler? Fuck no. It's their persona. It's how they are on the mic. It's their promo cutting. And these guys have constantly got to be cutting promos and making excitement for their product, because Hulk Hogan was a shitty wrestler. The Rock was a shitty wrestler. But they could work a room, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's what sold merch, that's what sold tickets, that's what got butts and seats. And that's exactly how I look at this space. Again, from a very objective, point of view. And
also, weren't a lot of people pissed off about COVID and shit? Didn't we just get out of COVID?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, weren't we pissed off at mainstream everything? They locked us up for 2 years. We got to support people that are for us, blah, blah, blah. I mean, kind of is the same. I mean, it wasn't released during COVID. They didn't do the campaign during COVID, did they?
No.
There wasn't a bunch of COVID money floating around, was there?
Well, the
It probably
ISOM
was.
ISOM 1 dropped July 11th, 2022.
So there was COVID money supporting that book.
There very well could have been, but
Oh, there fucking was.
well,
Yeah.
as far as
God,
people
like,
spending
there's-
that kind of money on these books.
I mean, that's the other thing. There isn't that extra money that there was even 2 years ago. You know,
Right.
like, I mean, even if
No,
you're a
not
fan
getting
of
the
these
Biden bucks,
people,
that's for sure.
yeah, it's becoming more difficult. I mean, I'm still shocked when people send $50 super chats, or like, who has that kind of disposable income? Even if you're making great money, who wants to send that kind of money to a YouTuber? It's wild
Lots of
to me.
people.
It's wild. To me, it's like
I get
insane.
'em.
Well, I mean, you
You
can
gotta
look at
fit-
you look at Rippaverse fans,
Oh
for
yeah, I've
example,
gotten them.
and we all know who they are. But I think it's just wanting to belong to some community and be accepted
Exactly.
by somebody.
That's
I
what
think
these
Jim
guys.
has passed
Yeah.
out. Jim had passed out.
Yeah,
But,
Jim. We should probably
I'm gonna
probably
go
check
bed,
out,
man.
guys. Yeah, we should check out. It's a weeknight. People got to work. Thanks
Jim is
everybody.
literally
Thanks for the
falling
super
asleep
chats
on
tonight.
Time
Chris,
to go.
Thank you for the super
Dave,
chats.
Jim.
Everybody is
Uncapped.
great. I'm sorry. I'm
Sorry about the internet connection. And we will